They say you're one of the best ever.
The first bill I ever made was literally just a photocopy, and it looked horrible.
Do you have to have a badass printer?
Not really. Printing technology is pretty crazy nowadays.
How much time did it take you to come up with your first bill that you thought might work?
Well, after about 6 months.
That long?
Counterfeiting's just trial and error.
At the end of the line, somebody gets...
Their number was about 800,000. They said once it hits over 1 million, it's another enhancement.
Right.
So he's like, only you know how much money you actually printed. And I know it was well over 1 million because I was printing about 3,000 to 5,000 a day for 16, 18 months.
And if I said, Jeffrey Turner, there's unlimited budget, buy whatever you need, could you print an unbelievable, good-looking $100 bill?
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to the Bubba the Love Sponge podcast. And I got to introduce a guy that I saw his podcast on Danny Jones. He's been on Matt Cox. And I was riveted, absolutely riveted on his story and his jam, if you will. Jeff Turner listen to this, was born in Miami, but ended up being raised for the majority of his life in Tampa, Palm Harbor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And used to listen to me back in the 98 Rock days and the No Panties Thursdays and the Lesbian Tuesdays and all that kind of deal.
Definitely.
And so he didn't know me, but he knows of me. And Matt Cox and Danny helped me get him down here back in Tampa. What year did you get to Tampa? And I know you said you were born in Miami. And then what year did you get to Tampa? And when did you leave Tampa?
Let's see. I was born in Sunrise, so
right.
It's like Fort Lauderdale, little town outside Miami. And I moved here when I was like 3 or 4, so I hardly even really remember, Sunrise.
So all elementary, middle school, high school, all Tampa.
I grew up
North Pinellas.
Yeah. Yep, Palm Harbor. I went to Carwise Middle School, which is right by one of your houses.
That's where
you mentioned.
My son went there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His mom lived up there. I lived down in Tierra Verde, and he lived up in the Palm Harbor area with her. We had 50% custody, and he went to Carwise.
Okay. How old is he?
He's 25 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a little younger than me then.
A little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I went to Carwise.
Then what high school did that put you in?
Tarpon Springs. Yeah, graduated in 2005 from Tarpon Springs. And, Tarpon Springs was where kind of all the trouble started, I guess,
Is that where you started getting in trouble?
Yeah, pretty much. Like my older brother and sister.
It's funny because Tarpon Springs is a sleepy little town.
Well, it's got its pockets of mischief, I think.
Pockets of mischief?
Yeah.
And you're a pockets of mischief finder, I'm assuming.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So when did you first really get in trouble, and what was it?
So I was 19 years old, 2006. I was leaving Brennan's Pub in Holiday off Alt 19.
I know exactly where it's at.
Yeah, they're kind of, well, I don't know. I used to drink there when I was underage. Them not knowing, of course.
Now, did you ever get into the ID selling business? Because, listen, like when I was in high school or lower college, that was big business. That was like, $100.
Yeah, I used to sell them, but not on any large scale. It was like I charged like $50 to my friends because they weren't. This was 20 years ago. So you remember when the Florida IDs just had like that green bar and like white? I think there was a hologram and maybe some UV stuff, but like unless you had a black light, it basically just looked like there wasn't very many security features.
When did you know, like, were you always an artist or were you always really good at art?
Yeah.
Because like when I was growing up, I had a guy named Carl Ottersberg, and there were some kids that we grew up with that were just really good at art.
Yeah, definitely. I've taken more art classes than I can remember.
Is art and your ability to do art, is that the premise of counterfeiting? Like being able to be crafty or creative? Is that the premise? I got to think that that's probably the foundation that counterfeiting is built upon. Like, I couldn't do counterfeiting because I wouldn't know where to fucking begin.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I never really even correlated the two, I guess.
If you were a fucking football player, big old lunk-headed football player, you probably wouldn't be good at counterfeiting because you think a different way.
Yeah.
Or if you were like a carpenter or a car mechanic, the skill set of that doesn't equate to the skill set of being able to, I think you said that you finally figured out that iridescent green eyeshadow end up being what you needed for the zeros on the 100.
Yeah.
But a fucking a car mechanic or a fucking electrician's not going to think of that. I think that's all where I think your art, and again, like you said, you never really thought about it and put two and two together, but you being a really creative artists look at things differently. They see things differently. And I think that that's where your skill set is based on.
So I had an art teacher in high school, Mr. Wood, I think. Mr. Woods, something like that. He, like, one of the first lessons in the art class was, like, he asked everybody to draw a house, right? And most people drew, like, a square with a triangle on top. Maybe a chimney or something. But, like, after everybody drew that, he basically then, like, showed a picture of an actual house and was like, basically the lesson was most people, when you ask them to draw a house, people draw what their, like, brain's concept, their thought process, like what their idea of a house is, really not what a house looks like.
Was he teaching you guys how to look and draw in 3D compared to 2D? Most people just did it in 2D, square, triangle, whatever, whereas you went and did it in a 3D, or perhaps he was teaching you that most people don't, in order to be a successful artist, you have to look at things spatially in 3D.
Yeah, and I think I did draw more of a, like, because I've always been a pretty decent artist, I'd like to think.
Have you seen some of Matt's art? What he does?
Yeah, he's great. He's got, like, degrees in fine arts.
That motherfucker's
he
got,
went to school
Matt
for
Cox
it.
has, like an art degree.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. He's got some good paintings. He tried to talk me into doing some, like, screen prints of $100 bills and like large, obviously.
Right.
But like wall art and stuff, which I started doing, but I started just doing regular digital printing and stuff. So, I have crookedprints.com, which the website kind of messed up, and I've got to redo it now. But yeah, I was selling prints of $100 bills and different stuff like that.
Just prints.
Yeah. They're like large format, wall art kind of stuff.
Not one you can take to Best Buy and get a new TV over.
I need to be careful when I say I'm selling prints of $100 bills. But.
Yeah, trust me. I had a situation with counterfeiting when I was on 98 Rock.
Okay.
And so I had this new printer that I gotten, and I didn't print any money at all. I didn't print any money. But, radio at that time was not visual like it is now, and it's all audio. So you had to overly describe what you were talking about so that people could pick up the visual.
Yeah.
And so I got on the air and I go, guys, have you seen the new printing technology they got nowadays? Oh, my God, these printers are unbelievable. And I said, look what I got. And I had real $1 bills. They were real. Mm-hmm. And I didn't say that I printed them on the printer, but I opened the conversation up with printers have really advanced lately. So you could infer, especially if you're the fucking Secret Service listening to my show,
I bet
you could infer that I printed these $1 bills, but I didn't. I just said, look what I got. I said, I got a new printer. God, printers are unbelievable. And look what I got. Well, at that time, I owned Bubba's Beach Club, or a Planet Bubba off the Gulf to Bay in Clearwater, and we still had the old school vending machines and pool tables. So I'd go there, like on Saturday night and go get all the vending money and all the $1 bills. So I always had a stack of like 200 ones. I always real ones. So I'm on the air and I'm like, hey man, printing technology has gotten really good. and man, look what I got. And it was a $1 bill, a real one. I said, Guido, go down to the vending machine and see if that works. Well, of course it's going to work, but I'm insinuating that it's something that, potentially might not work.
Yeah.
And I go, because if it works, I got a whole bunch of them. And I did. I had a whole bunch of them. So I have him get on the cell phone, and we're live on the air, and he goes down and he puts it in, and of course it works. I go, man, we're going to have candy bars for days. I can't believe that. I can't believe that dollar bill worked. It worked. Oh my God, it worked. So we're done. We're done with that segment. We're moving on to whatever. 30 minutes later, Secret Service come into 98 Rock when we were at Feather Sound, and I'm on the air, and they walk in just like the movies, black suits, sunglasses. They come around my console. They turn off my microphone. They flash the badges. They turn off my microphone. They turn off everybody else's microphone, and they separate us all. And I have to get on the air and say, listen, it's Bubba the Love Sponge, 98 Rock. We're going to do a best of music set here for a little bit. We got a little, again, there was no visual. So I didn't say I got the fucking Secret Service here. I just said, listen, there's a situation that's come up at the station that, this was like 9:30. So I only had like 30 more minutes left on the show. So I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow. So the Secret Service come to me and they said, they separate us all. And they first go to Guido and said, hey, did he give you a counterfeit? Had he been talking about counterfeiting, and did he give you a counterfeit bill? And Guido was my producer. And he's like, no, he didn't print that bill. It was a real dollar bill. He got it from his vending machines down at his nightclub. So that's his story. They got me. Now, they open up my bag. I had this little fanny pack gun bag. And first of all, there's my gun. They didn't really like that, but I'm licensed to carry a gun. And they go, show us the money that you printed. And I go, I didn't print any fucking money. They're dollar bills from my pool tables at Bubba's at Planet Bubba in Clearwater. And I said I was just using theater of the mind, and I never said I counterfeited anything. Yeah, you talked about you had a new printer and that you'd made them. I go, I said I never said that I made them. I said, look what I got. So they went, listen to this, Jeff. They followed me in my house. They asked me if I had any guns in the house, and I had a shitload of guns. They put all my guns in the bathtub and had a guy posted up in the bathroom. They wanted all my
serial numbers. And
no, they just didn't want me going out and pulling a gun. So they wanted all my guns in one place. I mean, it was way overkill. They were trying to make an example out of me because they thought that I had counterfeited. So they were trying to make an example out of me, big time radio guy. So they said, where's your computer? They seized my computer and took it. I don't know if you know this, but Secret Service at that time of Tampa was in a big high rise in downtown Tampa, in a really big high rise. So they take my laptop, not my laptop, they take my tower computer, my gateway or whatever the fuck it was, and they take it down and they handcuff me to a pole in a witness room. Well, I finally get one of my attorneys down there. They go through my computer, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what kind of fucking porn do I have on there? Like, I mean, do I got some girl fucking a donkey, or like, I mean, I hope I didn't visit some bad website. I mean, I didn't know what the fuck I had on there. So they go through there and they're like, listen, we didn't find anything on there. I go, I didn't print anything, guys. And they're like, well, here's the deal. For the next 10 days, we're going to keep a close eye on the counterfeiting market here in Tampa. And if by some reason it increases because people listen to your show and they think they can make money, we're gonna potentially charge you if there's an influx of more. And my lawyer at that time, I had Norman Cannella Sr. and he's like, you guys can first of all unhandcuff him, and secondly pack fucking sand. Okay, guys, give us our computer back. It was a big dog and pony show. So I had a little bit of a counterfeit. Those motherfuckers don't play.
Let me ask you, was it a laser printer that you had?
Yep.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Okay.
And this would have been like 98, 99.
Because there is, it's called MICR toner. And it's specific. Well, now I think they even have it for inkjets, but back then it was only for laser printers. It's called MICR toner. It's you can print checks with it.
Oh, okay.
So like the account number and routing number on the bottom of checks.
Mine wasn't anything like that.
Well, you can print bills that go into vending machines with a laser printer because you print it with MICR toner. It's magnetic toner. So that it detects magnetic ink, so you can put it in vending machines. So I was going to say, if it was an inkjet printer, then the Secret Service would have known, obviously, that wasn't a counterfeit because...
They even called up the guy that owned the vending machine at the radio station
and told him to open it up.
And had him open it up and we did it like 3 times, got the last 3 bills that were in there. They had seen that they weren't fake. It should have stopped at that. That's where it should have stopped. But they dog and ponied me.
Yeah, they were just setting an example.
Oh, yeah. And then they wanted to blame, any counterfeiting claims that come out of Tampa for the next 10 days, we're going to blame you. And, they had me so fucking sideways.
Yeah.
So at 19, you're in Tarpon and you get your first felony.
Yeah, I basically just left the bar. It was like 3 a.m. I left Brennan's. I had a half pound of weed on me.
What year was that? Would have been like
2006.
That was half pound of weed back then was.
Yeah, it was weed wasn't legal.
No,
not even in California or anything.
Or cool.
Yeah, well,
no, hold on. I love weed.
Yeah,
but it doesn't belong. It is still in the Schedule 1 narcotics.
Is it
still? Yeah,
that's crazy.
So you had a half pound on you.
Yeah.
Now at that point, you're probably distributing. You're probably slinging.
Yeah, I mean, and what the thing was it was like. A bunch of bags, a bunch of ounces in a freezer bag with a scale in the freezer bag and a bunch of empty bags. Like, I was young and dumb at that point.
Did you talk?
No. In fact, I was pretty drunk and not cooperative. I was lucky the cop didn't charge me with assault because.
So he pulls you over.
Yeah.
Is it Tarpon or is it Pinellas County Sheriff?
Pinellas County Sheriff.
All right, so they pull you over, and you're drunk.
Yeah, and I had a broken knee at the time. So
how did that happen?
Basically,
we didn't even get into the broken knee shit there, Jeff.
That's kind of what got me into the
pain
pills.
Right.
Yeah, because I was on pain pills for like a year because of that.
So at 18, you broke your knee.
Yeah, 18,
how'd you break
19.
your knee?
Basically just being like drunk, mess horse playing with friends and stuff.
Skateboarding?
No, we were like, me and my friend were like drunk.
I mean, you really got
boxing.
But you really got to be like, in order to break your knee, I mean, you really got to be fucking, aggressively play fighting or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of,
Kung Fuing and UFCing and just fucking around like some straight white trash that you are, right?
Pretty much.
Just fucking around.
Pretty much.
Right? Yeah, no shirts on, fucking just whatever. The fuck. High.
Yeah.
Now at that point, you probably didn't know anything about pills, right?
No, I was pretty well experienced at that point.
Okay, so when did you? So let's roll it back to Tarpon Springs High School. Because I've been there. I did a wrestling event there one time. I've been there. Sleepy little school. I met the school resource officer. When did you start doing drugs? In high school?
Yeah, about 13.
I thought you were going to say 3rd grade.
No, not that young. I mean, I started smoking weed at the start of high school. It's pretty normal, I think, for
15,
most people.
14,
yeah, it was
15.
Like 13, 14.
Right.
Going into 9th grade.
Now, your parents have no idea?
Well, they knew because I had gotten arrested when I was 16 behind the Albertsons.
Right. Off of Alderman.
Yeah, I was skateboarding. We were skipping school, me and my friends skating. We just finished, we were smoking a bowl, a little glass bowl,
right?
Some
which
mids,
are badass. But they leave all the residue in the world, right?
Yeah.
So you got all that resin, and the fucking cops will get you for that.
Yeah, the cops just rolled up on us because I guess the neighbors behind, that neighborhood behind, So, I guess the neighbors heard us, and we were just messing around. We weren't fighting each other or anything. Right. We were just being rowdy. We were 16, you know what I mean?
Just some skateboarding fucks.
Yeah. So, I guess they thought we were the neighbors thought we were fighting with each other just because, you know, me and my friends were like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like,
I'm going to hit a 180. Fuck you, bitch. I'll hit a 360.
yeah,
Fuck
something
you, bitch.
like that.
Right?
So they called the police thinking we were about to fight each other or something, whatever
You guys
it
are
was.
just out being boys.
Yeah, and like, you know, the cops come and basically I had a pipe in my pocket. And
No
it
weed,
wasn't mine.
just a pipe.
Yeah, no weed. We had finished it. We was passing the bowl around.
Sure, right, yeah.
You know, we like literally finished all the weed. And so it was
High
cash.
as fuck.
Yeah, and I just put the empty bowl in my pocket, but it was my friend's bowl.
Because back there, if you know, we're talking about Alderman and US 19. There's a Publix there. But behind there is this really cool concrete area. And you really can't see people rolling up on you when you're back there.
Mm-hmm.
So the cops literally could have had a couple, listen, you come in from one side, I come in for the other. And they literally can roll up on you and you don't even fucking know it.
Yeah,
like it's not like you're in a
basically-
big field and you see them coming. Like they're on you.
Yeah, the neighbors in front of us like called the police. So the cops came to that house, and then basically there was like a wooden fence, and
That's
they just
it.
opened the gate.
Right.
And, like, so we were just 1 second hanging out, and next thing you know, like, cops are right here.
So that's your first arrest.
Yeah, so they got me with like possession of paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Just for the weed. But that's obviously how my parents, you know, because they didn't even take me to jail. I was 16. I was a minor.
Yeah.
So they like
So you're,
put me in
you're
handcuffs.
juvie, and they do the dog and pony show, take you to juvie, try to scare you.
No, not. They just dropped me off at my house. Actually,
that's cool.
It was like a written arrest.
Okay.
So they like handcuffed me, put me in the car, drove me to my parents' house, and
Tell
gave
your
me
parents.
gave me a court date.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. That's number one. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
When do we start doing pills?
Shortly thereafter,
Could you buy pills at high school?
pretty much. I mean, I knew a couple people that had like Vicodins.
They
like
would steal them from
crazy.
their mom and dad, right? Or some
Probably.
shit like that.
Most
Dad
likely.
had back surgery, and fucking little Johnny was going there and taking half of his Vikes, right?
Actually, exactly that. Because the buddy whose bowl I got arrested with, he like felt bad because it was his pipe, right? And I got charged with it.
You took the rap.
Yeah, and the cop was like, I was like, oh, that's not mine. And the cop was like, well, then whose is it? And then obviously I wasn't going to tell my friend. So I was like, whatever, it's mine.
Right,
You
right,
know?
right.
So then like my buddy kind of felt bad. So he'd like kind of take pills from his parents
Right,
and
right.
give them to me because I couldn't smoke weed anymore because of the drug testing thing. It's
So at 16, when you first get busted for weed, now you're on a drug testing gimmick. They got you on, like, you have to go piss in a
but
cup.
it's only once a month. So like pills get out of your system in like a few days.
And they're not even testing for pills, are they?
They probably. I think they were.
But you'd figure out that
But-
that pills would get out of your system in what, 48 hours?
Yeah, pretty much. You just, you know, and they'd like schedule a probation date.
Right.
So like once a month, I knew, okay, my probation date's the 5th. So I'll just stop doing pills
On the
at
first.
the 1st of the month, and
Right.
it should be good. You know what I mean? So
Did you ever piss dirty? Never did. No. You had it all figured out.
I've always completed probation. I've been on probation, I guess, 3 times now
Right.
in my life, and like yeah.
So that
I've
was
always-
probation 1,
Yeah.
and that was for weed.
Paraphernalia.
Paraphernalia.
But, yeah, weed pipe.
You start getting into pills, and then still in Tarpon Springs High.
Yeah.
Do you graduate high school?
Yeah.
Graduate high school. Are you doing good in art? Do you got any do you got any jobs? Like any off school jobs or?
Well, I started working at Publix.
Which,
when,
by the way, is a great place to work.
Yeah, I've heard that actually.
If you
is
would
a
have stuck with
decent
it, motherfucker,
career.
you could have been a general manager by now, making $300,000.
Yeah, that's what my father actually did. You know, he worked at a grocery store and just worked his way up and ended up doing pretty well for
If you would have
himself.
stayed with Publix and not been a fucking degenerate like you are, you. I hope you know I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
But if you
hey,
would,
I made it to Bubba. You know what I mean? I'm here.
but listen, man, had you stayed at Publix and stayed on the straight and narrow, motherfucker, you'd be richer than all of us right now.
Probably.
They have stock options and 401ks and pensions
Yeah.
and everything.
Some of those big corporations, if you do, you know, excel and stick with them.
And
like,
put in like 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
Now you're getting your Social Security,
Yeah,
you're
just-
getting your 401k, you're getting your pension. I mean, you're on easy street.
Oh yeah, just work 60 hours a week for 30 years,
Yeah.
and you'll
Kill
see
yourself.
some benefits.
Sell your soul to our company.
Yeah.
If you fucking still are around to enjoy your money afterwards, here it
Yeah.
is. So you're in high
can
school
enjoy
at
it.
Tarpon. Are you heavily on pills? Are you more on weed? Or are you now? You mean anything? Is it just weed and pills?
No, well, I basically was just doing the pills while I was on probation. Because, like, my friends and I used to smoke. I'd drive everybody to school. Like, so I'd pick up a couple buddies and we'd go to school in the morning. And we'd always smoke a blunt on our way to school. So when I got caught for that pipe, I couldn't smoke weed anymore. So they kind of felt bad. But I said, I'm like, you guys can still, like, smoke. I'm not going to tell you
Just
y'all
pill
can't
me up.
smoke. Well, I didn't say that, but my buddy was, you know, he was like, okay, like, they felt kind of guilty smoking a blunt when I'm just, like, sitting there driving.
So like, man, Jeff can't smoke weed, but we'll fucking pill him up.
Pretty much. Which now, like, you know, of course, that probably, you know, didn't do me any favors. I think
Probably if you would have stuck on the weed gimmick, you probably would have been better off.
Yeah.
Because pills are bad, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I know it.
I mean, what did you get? I mean, like, I forget. Like, I had Kurt Angle, you know, the world famous wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, he was doing 60 Vicodin a day.
Oh, Jesus. There were Vicodin?
Yeah.
The Tylenol in them and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Or the Percocet 10-325s.
Yeah, that's horrible for you. Because
For your
Tylenol,
liver.
mainly.
Yeah, because So, like, you know, there was pro wrestlers that were doing 50, 60, anywhere between Vicodin, Percocets, oxycodone.
Yeah.
And then at night after their matches, they take somas to go to bed.
Yeah.
They used to call them soma comas.
Yeah.
Because they'll put you fucking down.
If you eat quite a few of them things, they'll get you tingling.
Right.
Knock you out.
So in high school, graduate, are you still excelling in art? Like, I mean, are you killing it in art? Is that your best topic?
Yeah, I guess so. In high school, I wasn't really excelling at much. I was selling drugs.
What kind of money were you making?
In high school, not a whole. I mean, I was selling weed. Maybe. Yeah, I guess in high school it was just weed, pretty much. Maybe I was selling like an ounce a day.
Ounce a day is a lot.
Oh, really? With weed. And back then it was like mid-grade.
Right,
Like, it was like the mid. This was before.
It was Mexican compressed, right?
Yeah. Towards the end, I started getting like BC buds, if you know what that is.
Right.
It's like a Canadian really that's like mid-grade weed nowadays.
Right. So you're selling weed all through high school and, you know, really not a path other than the one arrest, which was early on at 16, and then the next one came when you were leaving the bar.
Yeah, 19.
Now, did you just pick up the half pound?
I think I ended up getting caught with like 7 ounces. I got a half pound, and I think I had sold like an ounce out of it. So I had like 7 ounces left, I want to say.
But I mean, they'll throw the fucking book at you for that back then, won't they?
Yeah, well, they weighed the whole freezer bag, right? With the scale and the empty bags, everything. So,
well, that's got to be
the whole
a lot
thing
of not weight.
Was over like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds or
but
whatever.
There was
the
probably
scale.
a 1/4 pound that was just packing and shit like that.
Yeah, well, the scale too weighed.
Yeah.
You know, so like basically they said like the original police report was like over 2.2 pounds, like a kilo, because like the scale weighed like 1 pound or 1/2 pound or whatever, and then all the empty bags, whatever. So I had to like have my lawyer kind of figure that out, just weigh the marijuana,
just to get the weight down a little bit, because at that point, man,
it was trafficking.
Now,
originally.
Are you an adult at this point?
Yeah, I'm 19.
So you
years old,
graduated from high school, selling weed, Did you sell pills in high school?
Not so much in high school. Maybe towards the end of high school.
I would think that the pills would go better in high school because, like, girls and there's so much more. They're so easily more concealable than, you know, smoking weed. You smell like weed.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, whereas you can pop 2 fucking Percocets, feel like $1 million, and nobody can see shit or smell shit or anything.
Yeah, the pills, I mean, as I'm sure you know, like in this area especially, pills, you know, back then were everywhere. I mean, the doctor shopping, pain management shit. But that kind of, I mean, I'm sure it's been around for a while, but I guess me and my generation of people didn't really get into it until like after 2006, 7, 8.
As you got older.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you graduated in what year? 06, you said?
2005.
2005.
I got arrested in 2006.
So you're out of high school. That's when the big arrest happened. That was your really... Because the first arrest when you were 16, that was bullshit. That's a little juvie deal. Then this is your first big one. Did you know at that point, after you went through the system... what your time was going to be? Is that your first prison or jail?
Yeah, that was the first.
That would have been,
time
and that would have been the Pinellas
jail.
County 49th Street jail.
Yep.
That's your first time actually in jail, because when you were a juvie, they just took you home to mom and dad and told them your kid's a fuck up and
pretty much.
And you got to piss in a cup every 30 days there, buddy. Then you all went through high school, and then in 06, a year after high school, you get caught with a half a pound or whatever the fuck you get caught with.
Yeah.
And that's your first real taste of being in trouble and probably facing time.
Yeah, I did not very long in county jail. I think like my parents bonded me out, bailed me out or whatever. I think I did like a few days. At that point, I was still not a piece of shit yet to my parents, in my parents' eyes. So
they're like, man, our little Jeffy, he's just got some hard times right here.
Yeah.
Little guy, we're going to help him out. No big deal. They don't know he's going to end up being the biggest counterfeiter in the world.
Yeah, nowadays, I don't think they don't help me out anymore.
They don't think you're a little fucking innocent Jeffy anymore.
I'm a grown-up now, so I'll take my,
You'll take your lumps?
Yeah.
So at this point, little Jeffy gets out of the clink 2 days in, and at that point, you probably went through the system and got probably probation again.
Yeah, about 3 years
probation. Still in Tarpon, right? Or still?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm graduated from high school. Well, yeah, actually, I went to St. Petersburg College, SPC.
Right.
The Tarpon campus and the Clearwater campus.
And what were you trying to be?
I was kind of going to school for psychology. That kind of interested me. I don't know. It was kind of my interest in like drugs that interested me in psychology too, because like when
when you got high, you would find out like you had like a whole nother psyche almost. Was it kind of that kind of deal?
It was more the fascination. I'd say that like it wasn't the drugs that got you high. It was like neurotransmitters in your brain that got you high. The drugs just like triggered the release of brain chemicals.
Endorphins and all that kind of stuff. So that didn't interest you. Now, are you still doing drugs?
It's back to the first deal, pretty much. I couldn't smoke weed anymore because I was on probation.
So now you're on pills.
But I had the broken knee at that point, so I was prescribed pain pills.
Okay.
So at that point, I could do pain pills legally. So,
So when you'd walk into your PO, you'd have your knee brace on and your, and you'd be like, okay, you're good. But there comes a point where that heals, and there comes a point where you can't take him anymore.
Well, there's ways around that too.
You knew your piss test.
Yeah, and it's like once you have the bottle, like your PO doesn't necessarily like
all you need
want to check the bottle every month or
you
whatever.
Just need that bottle with your name on it,
and all that is a sticker, right?
Right.
Slapped to a bottle.
Here we go to now potentially you.
If need be.
I was getting ready to say, if a person, not that you did, but if a person could make legitimate prescription labels, that seems like that could be a money maker.
Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, if you go to like, the DHgate website.
I don't know all the shit that you know, Jeff.
Or like Alibaba.
Yeah.
Okay. There's like a subsidiary company called AliExpress. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Like they're kind of known to sell borderline shady products on there, right?
AliExpress.
Yeah, and DHgate.
Right.
Is another one.
So do they sell you kind of like the forms?
They sell like bottles of lean, like cough syrup.
I love that
shit. They sell the Mallinckrodt.
I love this
labels.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, they sell. All
I need to
sorts
get
of
me some
stuff.
lean. I had bad bronchial one time, and my doctor actually prescribed it to me like legitimate.
Yeah, yeah.
And I took that. I was like, oh, I know why people. I mean,
Codeine. Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I went to go get another prescription, and they're like, nope,
Yeah.
nope. And I don't think they sell it anymore.
I think they do. I think they're pretty.
I think they're
an
tied
opiate.
on it.
Yeah, yeah. It's an opiate in Florida. With all the pain management.
But I had to have
history.
full-blown fucking stage 9,000 bronchitis in order to get it. Like, my doctor's like, listen, this is the last resort. Like, and I'm only going to prescribe you one bottle of it.
What year was this? 2010?
No, this would have been
after?
like 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
then they're probably pretty strict.
Oh,
on it.
yeah. He was like, listen, don't ask me. He said, I'll tell you, it will make you feel better, and whoo. I mean, I would give $100 for a bottle of that right now.
Oh, people pay about $1,000
Is
for
that
it.
what they pay for it?
Yeah.
That shows you how behind the times I am.
Yeah, in Atlanta, some of those bottles of lean are, all
So-
the rappers drink it. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
So
right.
it's
So
a-
did the weed pills graduate to coke eventually here locally?
yeah, I started selling coke. And again, not
Now,
on any,
isn't that where the big profit is, though? Isn't that the big?
I mean, I was making, decent money for my age, back then.
Like, what are we talking? A couple
I don't
grand
know.
a week?
Yeah, probably a few thousand.
A week?
A few thousand a week.
A
maybe.
week?
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's motherfuckers who got to work 100,000 hours. I mean, that's good money.
Yeah, but also
that's
you're selling
cash.
coke. So like back then, it's like you're going to bars every night, and
Living the life.
You kind of have to spend at least $50-$100 a night on the bar tab just to
get in the
be
coke
somewhere
game.
to sell it,
Right.
or whatever. I mean, I was doing all right, but
How about strippers? Were strippers your good? I mean,
I never really got into the strippers too
Never
much.
did?
I dated a couple.
Usually,
girls
man, when
that-
you're into coke, man, that
whatever,
means
but-
strippers galore. My boys used to say that they let girls, strippers, snort coke off their boners. That was on. I never did coke, but they were like, man,
You never once did it. You never tried it.
Never once tried it.
For real.
I haven't lied about shit. I've done lean. I've done some pills.
Well, I guess that's
I've done
true.
some pills. Done some
Pretty
weed.
open.
I mean, I like gummies. I've
Yeah.
never ever did coke. I just always thought it was like once you go there,
Yeah.
it's like that and heroin.
Yeah,
was
I don't
always
recommend that
was
one
always. Now, did you ever try heroin?
Oh yeah, of course.
so
And I never
you-
use the needles. I don't use needles.
Yeah,
but
I'm not a
it.
needle
I used
guy.
to snort it.
So can you can snort heroin?
Yeah.
Where they chop it up with. Does it look like coke?
Well, nowadays it does. It's like fentanyl or whatever. Nowadays, as in the last like 5-7 years.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with that fentanyl shit. That shit. There's like you go too far with that and you're dead, right?
Well, I mean, it depends, right?
Nothing scares you. You are so fucking industrial.
Well,
You're like, yeah. Most people are like fentanyl. Fuck.
I've been
Jeff Turner's
around
like,
the block.
fentanyl, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. So fucking fentanyl, heroin.
See, the thing is most people, because nowadays the heroin is really fentanyl, so it's just a white powder. So I think people get confused with the street slang. So they think they're getting coke, and they snort a line of white powder, and it is fentanyl. They don't have a tolerance
Will
to
that
it.
kill you?
Yeah, and if you've never done opiates before, and you do a line of
See, that's what scares me more than anything. Is like today, other than if I go get get some gummies from my boys, or
Yeah.
I mean, I mean that ain't gonna fucking kill you. I don't think they're cutting weed gummies with fentanyl.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I don't know.
All right, maybe. But I'm
mean,
a pretty
not
big.
that-
I'm
not
a
that I
pretty
know
big
of,
dude.
but-
But I got to think, man. If somebody chalked out a line right there, I would just be so afraid as to what the fuck really that is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
is
can
it-
see that.
I mean, like in today's world, right? I mean, fuck. I don't travel in those circles.
Yeah, when I was like in those circles and doing drugs, and it's like, I guess I would kind of every now and then buy shit from strangers, I guess, on some level, people you just meet. But for the most part, I was dealing with people, the same people every day.
So like your
and you
your
get to
coke
know
dealer,
them
your
or whatever.
coke dealer was your coke dealer.
Yeah.
And your weed dealer was your weed dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Your pill guy was your pill guy. So those relationships didn't change. Right? I mean, I'm sure that, like your coke guy, you didn't have 2 coke guys. You probably, or you
I
had
about 5 of.
You had
of
5
each.
coke guys.
Yeah, usually.
But they were all coke guys. Like, you know, they
Yeah.
weren't guys that you just met at fucking 7-Eleven and, you know, they were probably introduced to you by somebody and you knew they were coke guys.
Yeah, and that's how I sold a lot of, like, so I typically would sell counterfeit money to people who approached me.
We haven't even got
offering
into
to
the
sell-
counterfeiting yet.
Yeah.
We're still in Tarpon, going to fucking St. Pete JC. So we're in Tarpon, and how long do you stay in Tarpon? Like, do you do you feel as if maybe had you stayed in Tarpon, things wouldn't have got as fucking Wild West crazy as they got, or do you?
No, I left this area because things were getting wild, a little carried away.
Were you at least whole with your dealers? Like, you never left no dealer high and dry for 40 grand or nothing, did you?
No, not that much.
15?
Yeah, maybe a couple thousand here or there,
Right.
a few thousand.
So
Like,
at what point do you're like, okay, I got to get out of it? Is that the next step? Is so after you've been through college, you're still slinging, so at this point you're slinging coke, weed, pills. This is locally. Coke, weed, pills. Are you on to heroin?
no, heroin wasn't really around this area, Tampa.
But coke, weed,
At that
pills.
point.
Coke, weed, pills.
Yeah.
And high volumes? Were you a pretty big dealer?
The pills were, I mean, because, you know, the pain management times, you know, I would sponsor a lot of people, pay for their prescriptions. They give me half the script, and I had, like, quite a few people.
That's when they were
developing a
handing
big
out like
habit,
90
you know.
pills.
Oh,
You could
like
go to these.
240.
You
240 is
could
max.
you could go to these pill mills, and they fucking write you for 240, right?
240 Roxy,
And then they would fill 'em right there.
Xanax bars, Somas,
Xannies,
Yeah,
Somas.
It was crazy back then. I'm sure you
How
know,
the
like
fuck did they get away with that?
it's legal drug deal. I mean, you know, the doctors, all them doctors ended up going to prison.
They did,
because-
didn't they?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was
they all-
in the feds with a few pain management doctors. You know,
And they look like just normal dudes, right?
Yeah,
and
they
they're-
are normal dudes.
But you know,
it's a lot of money though. I mean, that would tempt anybody. You know.
often to these doctors were they users? They had to be.
Yeah, some of them were. Some of them were like got caught writing themselves. But even ones that weren't using, I mean, like that. Well, he got caught, so fuck it. But Dr. Feldman in Largo.
Yeah. Was he the big one?
There was quite a few people that went to him, and he got arrested.
When the feds came down on the pill mills, they were probably more interested in the doctors than you guys.
Yeah, they'd arrest dealers and
And then lean on you to say where you're getting your shit at. And then you'd
Yeah.
flip and say Feldman, and they'd fucking let you off.
well, not me, but
No,
yeah,
no. But now, how long
that's
did
the progression, I would
how
say.
long would Feldman get? How long did he get?
obviously the doctors are gonna cooperate.
There's nobody to flip on, right?
Well, you can still cooperate though without snitching on somebody.
Right.
He was one of the doctors. I know it was like he was more so than like he wasn't just your typical doctor. He was supplying.
Well, he probably
A lot of
owned the
people.
clinic and had all the doctors underneath him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So he was probably the head physician and owned the clinic or owned several clinics,
Yeah.
and they all were writing under his DEA number.
They used to prescribe. They'd like write you the script, and there was like a pharmacy too. They
Yeah,
dispense.
right there in the same building.
Yeah. So like
You would go over here, and the doctor would give you your script, and you'd go over there
for
and get 'em-
$250.
and get them filled.
Yeah, it was like $250 for the visit, and back then it was like 30 cents a pill out of the pharmacy.
Right.
So for like $300-400, you're walking in there getting, and there was no record of it. There was
And
no pill monitoring system.
So
and
on
all
the
that,
street
so.
level, what would a fucking perk or a Vike or what would they go for on this 10?
Back then it was cheaper than that when it first kind of started.
5?
Yeah, it was like two for $12, 2 for $10, $5 a piece.
Did you have people just blowing your phone up for them?
I mean, yeah, it's at certain points.
That in conjunction
there was-
with you taking them, you
Yeah.
smashing the shit out of them. So you had to practically sell just to keep up with your habit.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But I mean, back then there was no shortage of. I mean, they
Right.
were so cheap, everybody would just.
That was in conjunction with coke and weed.
Yeah.
Would the coke and the weed slow down and the pills pick up, or was it always
weed
a
kind of eventually just I stopped selling weed.
You're like, I'm not
'Cause
dealing
it
with
smells and it's bulky, and I'm
Right.
paranoid driving around with
Right.
it. The second that you have a pound of weed in the back, and it's like the cop will smell that right away. So now they're definitely searching the car, and now you've also got 1,000 Roxys and 2 ounces of coke. It's like, yeah, let's leave the weed at home.
That's 15 or 20 years all fucking day.
Yeah. I didn't really look at it like that. They weren't handing out big sentences back then.
I know a guy named Scotty the Body, and he was one of the biggest cocaine dealers, and he did his time. He didn't never snitch on anybody, so I can say this name. His name was Scotty the Body. He used to be on my 98 Rock show, and in the late 80s, early 90s, he was one of the largest coke dealers in Pinellas County, and he was doing 12 keys a week.
Why the fuck is he working at a radio show?
He wasn't. He was just my friend.
Okay.
And after he did, and he only got 8 years.
Yeah, that's about right.
And so
Federal? It would have to be if he's moving.
No, I think it was state. And so they had him on over there at 49th Street, and they told him, "Listen, you just tell us who you're getting it from, because obviously he's getting it from somebody that's super high volume.
yeah.
If you're slinging 12 keys a week, the guy you're buying for, I mean, it's hard telling what he's got. So they tell him, they tell Scotty the Body, you tell us who your guy is down in Miami, and you'll have half the time. You'll spend 3 years in prison. A lot of people take that deal, probably. Scotty the Body said, I'm doing all 8, and I'm doing all 8, and I'm never looking over my shoulder. After he did his 8, while he was in prison, he learned the water treatment trade, like how to treat water treatment, like sewage water treatment. They I guess the prison had their own water treatment plant, and that was a skill set that you could learn. And he went on to. He cleaned up 100%, got married, found God, had a couple kids, really a great success story, and then went on. He works, I'm not going to say the municipality, but he works for a fairly large municipality in Florida as the head of the wastewater treatment place, making like $150,000, a year, benefits and stuff. Well, this is years ago. And he'd been out of prison about 5 years. And one day at work, this black Lincoln pulls up to the driveway, and he had a city truck. He had a city-issued truck from the wastewater management deal, and this black Lincoln pulled up and said, whoever his dealer was named, the big guy, the big supplier in Miami, such and such wants to see you tonight at 7 o'clock. Meet me at Yeehaw Junction, and you'll get in my car, and I'll drive you to him. Well, he told his wife, he's like, I don't know what this is all about. You may not see me again. Because this was the connect.
Yeah.
This was the guy that was getting it from Colombia. But Scotty knew that he never said a word. Like he knew. So Scotty drives to Yeehaw Junction, and this black Lincoln picks him up, makes him keep his car at Yeehaw Junction, takes him down to Miami. They go to the big guy's huge mansion. They don't get any farther than the foyer. He walks in, gets right to the foyer. The guy's there. And he said, I think it's been long enough that I could finally have this conversation with you. And Scotty was like, I just want to let you know I never said your name. I never snitched. I never said a word. I did all 8 years. I didn't get a deal. And the guy goes, I know. Trust me, I know. I read every document. I've seen everything that you've said. Because those guys, they have lawyers,
it's all public record.
Yeah, it's all public record, and they know. And he goes, I know, and I appreciate that. And I just want to let you know that I know you didn't say a word, and you're a man of your word, and you did your time. I appreciate you, and I wanted to personally tell that to your face. So Scotty's like, okay, great. I'm good. So the driver in the Lincoln takes him back to Yeehaw Junction and says, oh, I got something for you. Open up your trunk. Put a duffel bag in Scotty the Body's trunk. And Scotty the Body's like, listen, I don't want, please, no. I'm not doing this. I'm not in this game. I'm not in this game. I don't want to end this game. I'm and the guy's like, it's not drugs, it's money. So you need to go home and you can look at it and figure it out when you get home. So he didn't look at it, drove all the way home, got it out, and his number one mistake is his wife was this born again Christian, like this super, super, super religious chick. And he had kind of become very religious too. There was $300,000 in the duffel bag for kind of like a thank you deal. And you know what his wife made him do? Give it to the church.
I was going to say. I'd be like, okay, I'll give all $100,000 to the church.
He said, Scotty's like, hey, man. He talks like this. He goes, hey, brother, what I should have done is stop at the rest stop, counted it, and told my wife it was 100 and put 200 and buried it or something. Because it was, it was clean. I guess he'd earned it. But Scotty the Body gave all 300 of it to the church. That'd be tough.
Maybe he really got 500 though.
No,
you never know.
He would never. Scotty would never lie because he was as sick to his stomach as we are right now. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how prison works a little bit, right? I mean, if you had snitched on that guy, and that guy had gotten busted in Miami, then you're probably looking over your shoulder in prison, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Even not just from that guy. Like, at least in the feds, it's like people check your paperwork as soon as you walk in.
Now, do you walk around with your paperwork?
Some people do, yeah.
But like when they say, hey, Turner, I want to check your paperwork, are you obligated to show them?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is that just how prison works?
In the feds. It's different, and it's different in different levels.
But we're talking fed.
Yeah.
Because you were in the Fed.
Yeah.
Counterfeiting's Fed.
Yeah.
So, like, they want to make sure you're not a chomo, right? That's probably what they're looking for first. And then are they on your paperwork? Would it say that if you cut it, would it say that you did a deal?
Mainly, when people want to see your paperwork, they want to see it's basically your charges, right? I mean, really, you can look it up. It's all public record, like I said.
Right.
So they can call their people on the outside who have access to the internet
and say, hey, man, look up
this person's name.
I got Jeff Turner in here. Check him out. I need to know what he did.
Yeah, exactly. And you can look it up, but it's just easier to see.
Well, he got busted for skateboarding behind Albertsons with a pop pipe.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're not transparent with them, they'll find out.
Yeah.
They'll find out.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just better to fucking have it.
Exactly. And I've learned, like, especially in, like, camps and low security, they're not so much looking for people who cooperate because a lot of people do cooperate.
To get there.
Yeah. And then when you get into like the USP, like the high security penitentiaries, those are the ones where they're looking for obviously chomo charges and
chomos plus.
It's called a 5K1.
So if you got a 5K1, that means you cooperated.
Yeah.
Let's
like
say you and I are in the fucking Fed. I cooperated. And so you or I wouldn't maybe necessarily give it to you. I'm not scared of you. But some guy much bigger than you and much darker than you comes up to me and asks.
It won't be darker because it's white people. Only fuck with white people.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah. So but a big white dude with a swastika on his face
big,
or some shit.
Thick neck motherfucker, 6'4". All he does is lift weights all day in the yard. And he says, hey, fucking old timer, let me see your fucking paperwork. So they see that I'm not a chomo, but I got what's that called? A
5K1.
I got a 5K1. Does he go, what the fuck's this? Does he ask me, or does he just know that I snitched and that's it?
Well, I mean, I hadn't had to deal with that conversation.
But you saw it.
I know, yeah, it's understood. Even if you have like fucked up charges, it's like, of course, people aren't nice to you, but it is what it is. In USPs, yeah, it's like they'd just stab you or whatever.
I mean, they just fucking stab you.
Yeah, because like the gangs, I mean, that's part of putting in work. It's like, whatever you got.
So a 5K1 or a chomo is going to get you fucking shanked.
Pretty much, yeah. In USPs, but in lows or medium security prisons, it's basically just like, oh, you got fucked up charges, like you can't be here. Go
hang out with those stupid fucks.
Protective custody. Or we will stab you. It's more of like a warning thing.
But like, what if you're clean? What if you don't have a 5K gimmick? You didn't chomo. He just got caught fucking making $100 bills.
Yeah, they gave me some shoes and
they're
what
like,
else
hey,
do you
man,
need? You want a cigarette? You want
you're our
cigarettes?
boy.
Yeah, it was,
you're cool.
And a lot of times they'll come up to you and say, like, you have 2 weeks or a month to show us your paperwork. But they'll give you whatever you need.
I just called Jeff Turner and have him and fucking fake me out some shit.
Yeah, well, apparently Matt did that. He said he had made
fake
paperwork for people.
Of course he did.
And then like 2 weeks later, that person he made the fake paperwork for was out there checking people's paperwork. So he was like,
it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like, what if I went to prison? Okay, and I'm not trying to brag or not, but probably most people in Florida I've been syndicated almost in every city in Florida. So almost everybody, if it got out, I'm 60 years old, 59, and it got out that I'm Bubba the Love Sponge. And most people in prison are in their 20s, 30s, or 40s. They maybe have probably heard of me or about me.
Yeah.
Would they?
In prison, I'm sure, too, because they listen to the radio. That's all they got.
Exactly. Probably half my fucking fans are in prison. So, like, what would they do to me? If
I extort you for money.
No, but I didn't chomo and I didn't 501k or whatever the fuck. I didn't have any of that shit. I just, I got put for tax evasion or some bullshit, and I'm in feds. Would they be cool to me? Would they fuck with me? What would they do? Like, I wouldn't let any money. I may not be the toughest dude in the world, but if a motherfucker tried to fight me, I'd fight him.
Yeah, that's all you need. Stand up for you. Be respectable. Show respect to people, and don't take no shit.
Right.
That's all.
But would they?
Even Matt Cox bucks up a little bit.
Yeah, Matt Cox can get big as fuck. So like, what would they do to me? Would they fuck with me, or would they try? You said would they try to extort me for money?
I mean, if they think you've got money, it's like. But then again, it's like if you're willing to fight, that's all it is. People just take advantage of weakness. You know what I mean? If they say, "Give me some money, or I'll fight you," and you're afraid, and say, I said, "Okay, here's some money."
But what if I said, "Okay, bitch, let's go"?
Then that
we might be fighting.
Then you'll fight.
What if I got lucky and I got a good old fucking roundhouse on the dude and fucking knocked him out? Would it be like, man, motherfucking Bubba? Would it be like a kind of a
keys to the yard? Would
it be cool? Be like, man, that old timer whipped that bitch's ass. Would that be cool?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so we got to get into. So you leave cool. Tarpon. You got a trail full of problems here.
I went to 10 funerals the last year I was in Florida.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
At what age? 23, 24?
Like 27.
So
26, 27.
26, 27. You went to 10. So 10 of your friends OD'd.
ODs, murders, suicides,
really?
Just all sorts of shit. Just craziness.
And people that were your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Why would they kill themselves?
Well, that's a long story.
I got all day, buddy. You're Jeff motherfucking Turner.
One of my buddies got, killed by the police. He ended up shooting somebody, and then the cops came. He shot the cop. The cop shot him.
That's not going to work out for you, is it?
Yeah, no. He died, obviously, and then one of my friends, shot himself, and there was some overdoses, and
now the guy that shot himself how close was he to you? Was he a close friend? Your guy?
Yeah, he was a very close.
No,
friend.
at that point when you got a guy that, and you're seeing all this, and you're relatively, I'm assuming relatively normal. You're probably a functioning drug addict.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With some business savvy, but you're seeing all this.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, Tarpon, I got to get out of this fucking place.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And that's when you were
basically.
27, right? Mm-hmm. And you hadn't started counterfeiting yet.
No, I'd counterfeited when I was like 19, 20.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, so it wasn't on like a very large scale. I probably made $50,000, maybe.
Well, hold on, motherfucking $50,000 is a lot of money.
Well, over the course of a year. So
at what age did you make your first counterfeit bill, and do you remember it?
Yeah, I was probably 18. The first bill that I tried to make,
and did it work?
I mean, what do you mean by work? It didn't look good.
Were you able to pass it?
Oh, no. Back then, I never passed them myself. I was just making them and selling them. It was kind of desperation that got me to spend them.
So you're slinging all these drugs, and at what part clicks in your head, fuck, I think I can make this shit?
Yeah, that was basically like the reasoning, right? It's like you go through all this shit to try and make money, right? Like everybody does.
Oh, you're always on the
crazy
hustle.
shit. The amount of stress that it causes to just constantly, you know, on the grind, on the hustle. You're always just selling drugs, doing whatever. It's like all it is a piece of paper. Fuck, it's probably easier to replicate this piece of paper than it is to be doing all this shit that I'm doing to try and make.
I gotta call this drug dealer up. I gotta call this drug dealer up. I gotta deal with all these fucking people. I gotta go to a bar every night to get some customers. I got the chance of getting.
Drugs is stressful, really.
I bet it is. And even at the highest level of it, you're so stressed out because you got such a high volume. You're looking at prison for life if you're the big fish in the pond.
Yeah.
But that's got to be stressful.
Dealing with people is annoying. Your phone always blowing up, but you also have a life to live, right? So it's like you're hiding from police, obviously. It's illegal. And you've got a girlfriend or whatever, your parents, your kids maybe, whatever it might be. Now your job is you have to hide from your parents and your kids or whatever. So it's like, you know, you're out to dinner with your parents and somebody's blowing up your phone.
Want to buy a kilo.
And it's like, well, I never sold kilos like that, but still, yeah, it's like selling drugs
Want to buy 8-ball.
is stressful.
Would you ever be out to dinner with your parents and your phone just be blowing the fuck up? I need 50 this, I need 100
yeah,
of
I'd
those.
always put it on silent in situations like that.
Right. You decide to make your first bill. And how does that go?
The first bill I ever made was literally, I mean, the first one was just a photocopy just to like, you know, see how that looked, right? And it looked horrible, obviously. Like, you just photocopy it. You start from a base point. Like, you know, you just photocopy it. See how that looks. Like, okay, that doesn't look good. Then it's like, okay, how do I make that look better? It's all like counterfeiting's just trial and error and troubleshooting. Like, you're just trying to solve each problem. Like, you start at square one, photocopy it. Okay, this looks bad. Why does it look bad?
Photocopying it, making a copy of that $100 bill is your start of where then you just start refining it from there, right? Just okay, I got
surely
this
chipping away at
this
it.
paper's fucked up. I got to find the right paper.
Yeah.
And then that's a whole process.
Well, yeah, because it's multiple problems though, right? So it's like the right paper, right? It needs to feel right. It needs to have a strip and a watermark embedded inside of it, and it needs to mark with the pen.
So those are kind of your three. Those are your three issues.
Basically,
texture,
yeah,
pen, strip.
Yeah, pretty much. And the best way to, like, the real bills are they have the strip and watermark actually like embedded within the paper. So they like, as they're making the paper, they like pour this liquid pulp and then add the strip and watermark into like the liquid paper. So it's like actually one with the paper.
Right.
Whereas I kind of, you know, pretty much all counterfeiters at this point, like that I know of, kind of just replicate that by taking two pieces and sandwiching
and putting the strip
together
in between the deal. How long from the very first day of copying it to the day that you gave it or sold it to somebody to go pass, how much time did it take you to come up with your first bill that you thought might work?
Well, after about 6 months.
That long?
Yeah, because I tried bleaching bills, right?
You mean, like taking a $1 bill and bleaching it and making it 100?
Yeah, people back then, the main like the thing people were doing was bleaching like $5 bills. But I always said that was stupid because like the strip is different, the watermark is different. You've got Abe Lincoln's face, not Benjamin Franklin.
Right.
It says USA 5 or whatever. It doesn't say 100. So I never messed with that. I would bleach $1 bills. That way the paper's right. It marks right.
That solves your paper issue. But
well,
now
not quite, because like then it'll be double the thickness of a bill, right? But really, when you bleach money, it's not as easy as like the movies where you just put it in the liquid solution and microwave it and the ink just comes off. Like you kind of have to scrub away at it a little bit. Like you could take a toothbrush or whatever.
Right.
So I took a orbital sander or like a belt sander and kind of...
Wouldn't that just tear the paper right up?
Well, you have to be real careful with it. But if you do it while it's wet still, you put it in like Purple Power automotive degreaser and like a certain solution, hydrogen peroxide and a couple other things. I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long. And then you'd get it wet, microwave it in that solution, take it out, take a sander to it while it's wet, and just lightly, like, just enough, it would take the ink off and it would make it thinner.
You couldn't be on any drugs. You'd have to have a steady hand.
Yeah,
you couldn't be all pilled out. You'd be shaking.
You'd be surprised what somebody can do.
You could get laser locked on an Adderall and be like,
yeah.
So you would bleach it.
Not literally bleach it.
No, you would. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you would get like purple, like simple green or purple degreaser.
Mm-hmm.
You would put that $1 bill in that solution, microwave it for like how long?
I think it was like 45 seconds.
Okay,
or something like that.
Would the bill come out hot?
Yeah.
Okay, then you would lay it down on a probably something flat and hard. Mm-hmm. You take your orbital sander.
Yeah.
And just lightly scuff the writing.
Yeah, it would take the ink off and it would kind of file the paper down a little bit to make it thinner. So then when you did that to two $1 bills, they were thinner, so then you could sandwich them together.
Oh, okay.
And it would mark with the pen properly because it's real paper. But then you'd have to print the strip and the watermark and then the back of a bill and then the front of a bill, and then you glue real $1 bill paper together. And that's how I did it originally. But the problem with that is you have to go to the bank, right, and get a clean stack.
Uncirculated, brand new, in the wrapper ones. So
for 50 bills, right, it costs $50, right? It's 50 $1 bills.
Right.
And you can only make $2,500 off of that, right?
Only?
Well, you're probably going to fuck up.
Half of them?
Not quite. I got pretty decent at it, but I probably fucked up. Out of 50 bills, right? You're making $2,500 bills out of the 51s. I would say I'd probably get like 1,800, maybe 2,000, maybe.
Do you have to have a super duty badass printer?
Not really. The printing technology is pretty crazy nowadays. So, like, really, you can go... I mean, of course, the better resolution printer, the higher resolution printer, the better. But, I mean, really, even a $50, $100 printer that you buy at the store, just a standard printer.
Just an HP 101 or whatever the fuck it would be, right?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Canon printers. But that's because, like, back in the day, you have to match all the colors really precisely.
Right.
And I would kind of figure out the colors and match it according to Canon's color schematics.
Now, would you often have to mix Canon's colors and make your own color, or could you get a standard stock Canon color to match what you needed?
Yeah, all Canons are the same, right? So, like, when you buy a Canon printer, no matter what model number it is,
all the ink's the same,
pretty much. Yeah, when you go to print, you go to print settings, and it's got this like range of -50 to +50, and you can set the color, like
the intensity and stuff.
Exactly.
Like a red can be real red or it can be lightly red.
Exactly. So you put all these settings to, like, say the intensity is -12 and the contrast is +25 and the saturation is -6, and you basically eventually, after just printing and trial and error, you have these schematics.
And then you'd have a real one over there, and you'd just be looking and looking and looking and looking and looking, and you'd be like, okay, I gotta make an adjustment here. I gotta go from -6 to -8, I think. Okay, and then you make that one and be like, oh fuck, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, and then
it's all trial and error. You just do it until you get it right.
But they would pass. They passed the marker test.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You kind of learn what cashiers actually look for. Right? Like, you try to make it perfect and you get it perfect, but it takes an hour for every $100 bill, and it's like, well, that's
not good.
Isn't it
an hour for every 100?
Well, no, and then you refine it down and say, like, all right, well, I'll do this, but this one cashier scratched the shirt, right? They scratch his T-shirt or whatever, Benjamin Franklin, and you could feel the texture. Like the little ridges.
Those were but you could replicate those.
Yeah, so it's like, well, one cashier did this, so I'll add this, but I'll take away that because I've never had a cashier call or say, oh, yeah, there's blue and red fibers, so it must be real. Like, I've never heard anyone say that.
Right.
So I'll just stop with the blue and red fibers, and I'll start with this, and I'll do, it's like...
So through trial and error and passing them, you would, in the marketplace, you could find out what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Probably the first was the pen.
Yeah, the pen.
You got to pass the pen test.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then from there they went probably to the
color shifting ink.
The
strip and the watermark
and
marking with the
you
pen
had those nailed, right? Nailed.
Yeah. I mean, I had it pretty much down to a science.
So you leave Tarpon. Shit's not going so good. You went to 10 funerals between overdoses and guys that committed suicide that you cared about. Mm-hmm. Were your parents becoming a little frustrated with you too? I mean, did they know? Did they finally catch on as to what you were doing, or were you always pretty secretive about that?
I think by that point, my parents knew.
You probably weren't living at home though. I mean, you're making $2,000 a week.
Yeah, no,
I mean, you probably had a nice crib.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hop around a lot. I'd rent an apartment here or get a house here. At that point, I had a house in Dunedin. My parents, they probably knew what was up, but I only saw them here or there.
When you left Tarpon, you'd really never done any real time. You'd never really been arrested, anything that stuck. You had your weed deal, but that was paper. You just got paper on that.
Yeah, I'd done a couple 30 days. I got a larceny charge.
What's larceny?
Like theft.
You had all the money in the world. What the fuck you stealing?
No, all the money. Money comes and goes. You know what I mean? It's
$2,000 a week, bitch.
Well, I mean, we're talking over the course of 10, 15 years.
I mean, you were a big time
then,
drug dealer and fucking. I mean,
I was never a big time drug dealer.
I'm just saying, though. I mean, you didn't have to be stealing shit. What were you stealing?
Well, I was kind of like a booster for a couple years at one
booster?
point. Yeah,
what's that?
Like kind of organized retail theft, basically.
Oh, tell me about the booster scam.
Basically, like back in the day, Walmart, you could go steal something and just go return it, and they'd give you cash. A lot of things have changed because of so many boosters doing this, but now you need like a receipt. Or you put your ID on it. They had a little period where like you had to have your ID.
What does booster mean?
Like the retail theft,
Wonder why they call it booster.
No, that's just a thing. It just means stealing. Like there's car, boosters.
Okay.
Who steal cars.
Shows you how fucking stupid it shows you how unstreet cool I am. I'm gonna be a booster. So.
But yeah, you walk into Walmart,
do you have to have a gang?
Steal some bed sheets. Yeah, you do need a few different people because like one person will steal something, the other person will return it, and then another person will go sell. Or once they did away with giving cash, then they'd give gift cards, but you could still go sell the gift card for 50 cents on the dollar at the pawn shop. So it's like you steal a thing of bed sheets.
How the fuck do you steal bed sheets? You put them down
Pretty simple. No, you just walk in with a Walmart bag. Granted, I was in my early 20s at this point, you know what I mean? But you just walk in with a Walmart bag in your pocket, go get bed sheets, put it in a bag, and just walk right out.
Booster. That's a lot of work for a little bit of money. How much you getting on a bed sheet? $60, $80?
King size bed sheets. That's the thing, right?
You get like the 1 million thread count or something like that.
Anything over $300 is a felony. It's grand theft. So there was like one specific type of bed sheet from Walmart, and then there was other stores or whatever. But like, it was basically it was like what was it? 250 or 270 plus tax. It came to like just under grand theft. So it was a misdemeanor.
Yeah. So you're like, fuck, I'm 298. So I'm good.
Yeah. It was basically like, it was like 280 some odd dollars. And then they'd return it for cash with no receipt.
Right.
So like, you just go and do that. That's $200-$300. And we'd go from like St. Pete to Pasco County, just hitting every Walmart, and then one person would return it. Like, basically, one of us would go steal it from one Walmart, go to another Walmart, and we just cycle it.
You obviously got caught.
Yeah. One of the loss prevention guys, we fought a little bit because I didn't know they were allowed to put their hands on you. And this one dude, I was just kind of like, nah, you're good, bro. I'll just keep walking. And dude, put his hands on me.
And you're like, bitch, get off.
So yeah, basically that.
Did you catch a charge on that?
Luckily, no. We wrestled to the ground, and I I was about to break his fucking hand off. You know what I mean? Because, we were wrestling, and I took his thumb and bent it, and I was like, fucking let go of me. You know what I mean? I'll break your fucking hand off.
I got $298 worth of sheets here, bitch. I got to get out of here.
But then he's like, if you do that, it's armed, whatever the charge is.
Yeah,
it's
battery or some bullshit.
It's a lot worse. So I was thought about it. But I was still like, I'm going to rip your thumb off your hand if you don't let go of me. Bottom line. But then, state troopers, just appeared, and it was like,
how long were you a booster for?
Probably just 6-8 months, maybe 6 months.
Did you have a booster club, like the same, like the same boys?
I mean, there was a little crew of us, yeah.
Did you ever boost anywhere else? Was that the only boosting you got?
I mean, that was pretty much it. I mean, I used to print some receipts. That was another good little lick.
Oh, tell me about that.
You basically just print receipts, After a while, they started having people, check the receipts at the door or whatever. This is all real petty scumbag shit.
Did the system fail us, meaning us taxpayers that had to worry about the Jeff Turners out on the streets, or should you have done some real time?
I mean, like I said, I got away with a lot of stuff for a long time.
Was your shit not sexy enough to...
Well, yeah, I mean, you get caught stealing from Walmart. It's not, they don't necessarily know that I've been stealing from every Walmart, so it's they
don't know that it's times 100.
Most people are just opportunists, and they see an opportunity to steal a candy bar, they steal the candy bar. Like the counterfeiting thing, right? It's I was gonna rob banks when
no way.
Well, when I lost my job, I started counterfeiting, but
what was your job?
Well, I worked for a sign. I was the lead service technician at a sign company.
That had to be pretty good, or was it not? Was it not?
Was all right.
Was it not big enough money fast enough?
No, it wasn't.
See, so here you are slinging dope, slinging coke, fucking boosting, making counterfeiting, doing 2 G's a week. And, working at Johnny's sign shop as the head technician making fucking $800 a week just doesn't do it for you. You talk about the endorphins and stuff that fire in your head, and your paycheck comes and it fucking sucks. Yeah. And you're like, man, I used to be able to boost, cocaine, pill sell, and all this shit and make 10 times this for half as much.
Yeah.
And be able to sleep till noon, fucked up.
The hardest part was after getting out of prison for the counterfeiting shit. At that point, the feds seized the cars and everything. I'm in a halfway house.
I met Matt Cox at a halfway house.
Really?
When I had him on my show the first time, he was still in the halfway house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a low point for probably all of us, I think. The halfway house is...
See, everybody would think that the halfway house would be a fun place because you're not in prison and you're almost done.
Well, yeah, there is that for sure, but also it's just that's the beginning of
reality.
Yeah, it's
because
to go from Matt Cox making all the millions he made, and then next thing you know, you go to prison, you get out, you're in the halfway house. It's now you're working at
Arby's.
Yeah, it's you're working at some shitty job, making not a lot of money, and it's you just not too long ago we're
making $2,000 a month,
making good money. You know what I mean?
So when you're at the sign shop, you lost your job there. Were you stealing? What'd they fire you from the sign shop for?
I basically wrecked a work truck on accident.
Were you fucked up on pills?
No, I had I mean, this was really, I wasn't fucked up on drugs. I had a newborn baby at home and wasn't getting sleep. You know what I mean? And I just dozed off at the wheel and basically just wrecked. But I wasn't even on opiates. I wasn't nodding out. It wasn't like that. But
so the baby kind of cleaned you up a little bit, right? I mean, when you had the baby, did it kind of was it somewhat of a reality? Listen, I need to get my shit together. Did you have a relationship with the baby mama?
What, back then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and the baby mama together.
You know, we had a couple kids. This is when, you know, basically Florida was getting crazy. Like I said, went to a bunch of funerals and things were just getting chaotic. So we moved to Knoxville.
Now, do you have a regular job up there?
Yeah, that's when I got into the sign industry.
Sign industry.
Yeah, I had 2 kids actually.
2 kids up there? Mm-hmm. So 3 total.
Yeah.
Because you got the one down here in Tarpon.
Yeah, and the girl that I started seeing had 2 kids from a previous marriage. So yeah,
you better start counterfeiting again.
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus.
I had 4. I was raising at the time like 4 kids that were living with me, and then
you had 4 plus 1.
Yeah, and one that lived
one
with
that
the
you're
mom
sending
in
a
Florida.
support check to.
Yeah, so it's like when you lose your job, and I had a newborn, so my ex-wife now, but like my wife at the time, she wasn't working because she had just had a baby. So like, everyone was relying on me, and then I lose my job, and at that point, that's when I was thinking like rob banks, do whatever it takes.
Now I've seen bank robbery shit. It seems like it's pretty easy.
Yeah, you could do a note nowadays. You know what I mean?
You just hand this motherfucker here.
Yeah, just
That's
give
it.
them a note. And they
have
give
like a little pocket gimmick in here, like you got a little gimmick, right? You know?
Yeah.
Like
you don't want to do that because then that's a threat of violence, and it's an enhancement. That's what I'm saying.
Gimmicks.
When I choose a crime or something, it's like I research it and educate myself and find out, and that's why I chose counterfeiting again, because I was gonna rob a bank. I was like, well, you can only get 5 years. You can get 5 years if I use a note and do it right or whatever.
You also got to worry about the die packs.
Well, if you tell them no, that's the thing. It's like bank tellers are instructed, at least. Of course, they can do whatever, but they're instructed by the bank to do exactly as you say because of like insurance, liability, and stuff.
They don't want you clipped.
Yeah, exactly. The bank doesn't want the teller being a fucking hero and getting shot. So they tell them do exactly what they say. No die packs, no GPS. This is a robbery. Don't say I've got a gun. You know what I mean? Don't say go over there, because then that's kidnapping, technically.
Man,
you
Jeff, you really thought this out. What are you doing next Friday? Me and you, buddy. I got a fast car.
So I was gonna get. I don't know if I should say this.
You can say anything you want.
I was gonna basically get a mask of somebody and then frame someone else by having them touch the note and put fingerprints on the note and then leaving it there, so that way it frames some convicted felon or some other dude.
You're a really
I had it all
dirty
planned
motherfucker.
out. Yeah,
I'm not hanging out with you. I'm hanging out with Matt Cox. I ain't hanging out with Jeff Turner. What the
I won't
fuck?
frame you, buddy.
I'm not even gonna touch the fucking. I'm not even shaking your hand. So hold on. You were going to frame.
Leave false evidence. I should say. Frame is a bad word.
Yeah, it's the word though. It's the word we're looking for here, buddy. It's the word we're looking for here. At that point, you're like, okay, bank robbing. Even though I was going to do a frame job, Willie, on the backside, I'm gonna go back to counterfeiting. At what point did you determine that Bible paper was the jam?
Really, it's like I remember reading just about different types of paper, and somewhere I read it said that old Bible paper was made of cotton, linen, rags, similar to currency. So I was like, oh shit. So then I ended up finding all different kinds, and it is like there's so many different kinds of Bible paper that, like,
you said you'd go to old bookstores and you would probably go look at their old Bibles, right? And you wouldn't just buy. You'd have to go through it and make sure it was the right paper, right?
Yeah. There's like some Bibles are printed with like newsprint,
right?
Like the gray kind of cheap dollar store type Bibles, but then, I mean, Bibles are expensive because of the paper. Like, that paper is really high quality paper. So, and certain Bibles have like, some only have like one blank page in the front and like one in the back as like just kind of cover sheets or whatever.
Right.
But some of them in the back, it'll say like notes on top, and it'll have like 30 or 40 blank pages. So
but some Bibles aren't they completely scribba paper?
Yeah.
Some Bibles have the scribba paper throughout the entire book.
Yeah.
And that's the home run, right?
You can't. I've tried like bleaching the ink off of it, the text, but it's too thin. It ends up just messing up.
Was that a whole big, rundown in itself, trying to find Bibles?
Yeah. Like I think so. I'd go to bookstores in every city I'd went to, and you go in this bookstore and just acquire all the blank Bible paper you could, and obviously at the time traveling from city to city breaking the bills, or you get a hotel room, and I'd always check the drawer and take the page or two.
Now, would you ever go with the maintenance guy and say, "Hey, brother"?
Yeah, see that was the thing. It's like every now and then I'd open the drawer and there wouldn't be a Bible, so I'd just be like, "Damn, there isn't one." But
would you call down to the front desk?
Yeah, one time in Knoxville, I just noticed like one of the workers, like the maid or whatever, and I asked, I was like, "Oh, there's not a Bible. Can I get one?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll send the maintenance man. I'll send somebody with one." So this guy came and knocked on my door and handed me a Bible, and I just by looking at this guy, I could tell he was the maintenance man, and like I could tell he was like a drug user.
You could tell he was on the take.
Yeah,
you could tell that he was up to no good.
Yeah, basically. So I was like, "Hey, I just asked him. I was like, what do you guys not keep Bibles in the drawer anymore?" And he's like, "No, it's just like politically correct. Like we have them as needed if you want one."
And you're like,
yeah. So he's like, "I got boxes in the janitor's closet." So I was like, "Damn, like this hotel has like 500 rooms." So I'm thinking there's a box with 400 or 500 Bibles. Yeah. So I basically said, I'm like, "You never put them in the end table anymore?" He's like, "No, they just sit in the closet. Like no one even asks for them anymore." So I was like, "I'll give you $100 for the Bibles."
Did he take it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Would you pull your car up and say,
like,
"Fucking load them up, buddy"?
Yeah, and then the first
now that
one,
probably gave you a lot of that was a fucking huge score.
Yeah, well, I mean, like those specific kind of standard hotel Bibles, like only have 2 to 3 blank pages in each one, but 500 of them. He bought like 3 boxes, I think. So it was like, it was probably 400 Bibles, times 3. That's 1,200 sheets. So that's 600 bills.
And you gotten so good by then that your fuck up rate was down, right? Meaning, your fuck up rate was way down.
Certain times, like certain kinds of paper prints weird, or like it'll absorb the ink weird, and like every now and then certain kinds of paper is just no good.
Now, while you were in Knoxville, were you back on drugs?
Yeah, I was selling selling the money to drug dealers and
doing drugs. Doing drugs, selling drugs.
No,
or just
selling drugs.
Counterfeiting.
Just counterfeiting and selling money to drug dealers.
I think I heard on Danny or Matt's show that at one time you're doing like $2,500 a day.
Yeah. I mean, at least. Well, yeah. At least, I'd say anywhere from 1,000 at minimum to like probably about 5,000.
Would that just be based on
max.
how hard you wanted to work?
Kind of that.
Just like hey, today I'm just gonna do 1,000. Or
basically,
other
just
times
depends on how busy
I need some
was,
fucking money. I need to make 5.
Yeah, and it depends on like sometimes certain drug dealers would request, like, "Oh, I'm going to Detroit to re-up this day. I need 10,000 in fake bills by this day." So then it's
is that who got caught in counterfeiting? At the end of the line, somebody gets fucked.
Yeah.
Right? Who does it usually end up being? The bank?
I don't think it would be the bank. I think it's the customer that gave the bank the money.
Right. The dumbass that takes the fake bill to the bank is the one that gets caught holding the bag of shit.
Yeah, basically. So, like, if I break a bill at a grocery store, right, you give it to the cashier puts it in the drawer. At the end of their shift or the end of the night or whatever, they take their drawer, drop it in their safe, and it sits in their safe till an armored car driver comes usually once, sometimes twice a week. So say it's once a week. So at the end of the week, it sits in their safe until a Brinks truck pulls up, and then that grocery store gives their deposit to the Brinks truck. The Brinks truck drives it to the bank, deposits it in the bank, and then the bank usually at that point will put them in money counters.
How good are money counters? Like, is that where did yours ever get to be so good that they could get through a money counter?
I could do that with the MICR toner I was talking about. But,
Right.
I didn't because, again, it was like you wean out certain things because it's not worth my time.
Yeah, and at this time, when it's at the money counter, it's so far down the river from you. Did you wear gloves when you made it and stuff so that you didn't have fingerprints on it?
I started out really paranoid about that. I'd wear gloves at first, and then I started just coating my fingers with glue to like coat them because your hands would get like sweaty in the gloves.
Right, and they do.
And
they do. I
yeah.
can't see how doctors and nurses wear those all days because my hands just sweat like a fucking gorilla in them.
Yeah, and it got really uncomfortable. But then I just coat my hands with glue. But then I've kind of like.
Could you just wipe the bill down when you were done?
Well,
or would that fuck up the artwork?
No, that's the thing. I realized that when you spray it with lacquer at the end, so even if my fingerprint is on it,
It's going to lacquer over it.
you cover it with lacquer.
After it's dried on the lacquer, now you don't want to touch it, though.
Yeah, kind of, but it's a circulated bill at that point.
Oh, yeah, it's
So
got
they
45
can't-
fucking fingerprints on it.
Yeah, they can't really, but obviously you don't want your fingerprints on it still.
Right.
But, I try to touch it as little as possible. But basically, before we go in the store, you just kind of, you can wipe off fingerprints.
I got to think that you're probably freaked out. Like, I mean, freaked out every day because after you make them, you then got to get them you got to break them, right?
Yeah.
Unless you would sell. I mean, I think I saw where you would sell them sometimes to drug dealers and stuff for 25 cents on the dollar. But it got to a point where you had to break them yourself manually, right?
Like I said, you're not really supposed to break them yourself if you're the one making them. But it's like you could either sell it to this guy for 25 cents on the dollar, or I could go just break it myself
and make $100.
Make $100. So, and then I realized like. Basically, I started buying like prepaid Visa cards and money orders. So then at that level, it's like, you could walk into one grocery store and buy a $400 or $500 money order, and it's just cashing in the bills for 100%.
Let's say you got $500 money order. Would you use 3 real ones and 2 fake ones, or would they all be fake?
I mean, when I was doing it, they'd all be fake.
All
yeah.
of them?
Yeah. The prepaid Visa cards I liked because it's like if you got a $200 prepaid Visa card, there's usually like a $4.99 fee attached to it. So it'd be like a $200 Visa card plus the fee is like
$4.68.
Yeah. So then you give them 3 and you get $95 change and the $200 Visa card for 3 bills.
You try to trip them up.
There's a lot to as far as kind of like profiling cashiers, picking the right person to go to.
I think you said on one podcast you would try to go to a girl, and you would send your wife to go to a guy.
Yeah, I had about 10 different people who would break bills for me too. There was probably about 10 groups of drug dealers I'd sell money to. I had, I don't know, 8 or 10 people that would break bills, bring me $40 out of every bill they broke, and then I'd break bills myself, like me or my wife at
What
the
did
time.
you prefer?
Breaking them myself was
The most advantageous.
it was the most profitable, and I mean it's addicting, really, because I mean like for almost 2 years straight, my job was to go shopping.
Did you ever make so much and do so well, or were you always chasing the dragon? Meaning, like, did you ever have a surplus of like 10,000 clean?
Yeah, I'd stacked up about 60,000 at the most. But you can't really stack up fake money.
No, I'm talking about money that you cleaned.
Yeah.
So
I had
counterfeited,
about 60,000 at the
clean,
most. Yeah.
exchanged.
Yeah, real money.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying with as far as the fake money goes, because like every drug dealer I'd ever met, every time they find out the bills are fake, they all say the same thing. They're like, oh, I want 100,000 or a $500,000. And I'd basically explain to them, like, listen, that's lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot of time, and I need a lot of paper. I mean, to print $500,000, not only forget about the paper, I mean, think about, and that's probably a few $5,000 worth of ink just to make that.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, you could probably print
And
about
lacquer?
$10,000 out of every box.
What was your
of
most
ink.
expensive product in counterfeiting? Was it the ink?
The ink, yeah.
The lacquer was cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like the lacquer is about.
Was it the spray on?
$7, $8.
The Krylon spray on kind of deal? Just
Watco, matte lacquer and Krylon matte finish.
Right.
And all this different.
And you
different
knew
stuff.
exactly how much to do. And then how long did it have to dry usually?
Oh, it dries real quick. Real quick. It smells like you can spray some on because I'd spray it on from a distance, right? Like I'd hold the bill like this so it kind of mists on.
Right.
And it gives it more texture.
Right. Because
if you spray it too thick, it'll feel smooth and glossy.
But if it's getting kind of the particles of the spray, then that creates a coarseness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's how good you got at it.
Yeah, and then you could just, if it feels too coarse, you just go on the edge of a table and just...
And kind of sand it a little bit.
Yeah, and it just wipes off that grit, and, that's when it feels perfect.
What ended up taking down Jeff Turner?
There was probably about 8 or 10 drug dealing groups that I was selling to, and there was one specific group from Cleveland, Ohio. They were, it was like it was 3 guys. Basically, one of the guys was named E. The other 2, as much as I don't really care for them, they never told on me or anything, so I won't mention their names. So this guy E, basically, and we ended up... renting a house together and all this stuff, which I didn't really care for him at the time either, but it was like a business relationship. He was buying a lot of money from me. We were just doing a lot of business together. Basically, he came home one day because we were sharing this house. Like I had the back of the house was like kind of a little counterfeiting studio, and the front of the house was where he was selling drugs out of.
All right. And you're on drugs.
Yeah.
And you're in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Now, are you estranged from your baby mama?
No, we were still together at this point.
Okay.
But basically, E rolls up in like a newer Charger, like a new car.
All right.
And he was like, "Oh, check it out!" And he said he got it for $500 and an 8-ball of heroin. So, and I was thinking like the rims alone on this car are about $6,000-$7,000. So I'm like, I was like, oh, that car's stolen then for sure.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I got the title for it. It's all good. I'm gonna register it soon, and it's all good. And I was like, dude, that's 100% stolen if you paid $500 for it.
And some heroin.
Yeah, it was like this was in 2019, and I think it was like a 2017 Charger.
So it was probably $50,000 or $60,000 car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
for $500.
And you paid $500. He thought just because the dude had the title, it was good. He was good. He has the title. I was like, it doesn't mean it's not stolen. Like,
right.
I guarantee what happened was somebody broke into a house, went into the safe, found the title, and thought, oh, the car's in the driveway, and here are the keys. Here's the title. I'm taking the car too. So. But anyway, I ended up being right. So he went to Cleveland. He got pulled over. He went to Cleveland to re-up. He was going up there to buy a kilo of heroin.
Now, what costs more, a kilo? Because I'm oblivious to the deal.
Yeah,
a kilo of heroin or a kilo of coke.
A kilo of heroin's more expensive, but nowadays it's like fentanyl. It's not really heroin. So with fentanyl, it depends because there's different potencies. Like a kilo of pure fentanyl can be very expensive. You know what I mean?
Where does the fentanyl come from?
China.
Yeah.
I mean, or Mexico. I mean, it's
that's where it comes from.
Basically, Chinese chemical companies supply the raw ingredients
for fentanyl
to Mexico, and then people in Mexico buy these legal chemicals that they make fentanyl with, and then they smuggle it up, basically.
So, oh boy, he's going to Cleveland with his new fucking stolen Charger to buy a Kia heroin.
Yeah,
probably using your fucking money.
Yeah,
that's the connect right there.
Yeah, so basically he gets pulled over because the license plate's stolen. The cops search the car and find a little Louis Vuitton bag with $20,000 in real cash and $5,000 in my bills. So the police didn't even know the bills were fake either at the time. So they just arrest him.
Okay.
Thinking he's got $25,000 cash. Like, that in itself's illegal to possess. You know what I mean? So
with a stolen car.
Well, yeah, you have to prove where the money came from.
Right.
Like anything over $10,000,
right,
you have to explain, you know,
I got a job, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So they basically seized the money, put it in their bank account. The bank came back and told the police, hey, some of this is fake.
So they go lean on him.
Yeah, so, and I've got the interrogation tapes.
And if the motherfucker just would have said, I didn't fucking know, like, I don't know who the fuck, I got that from the bank.
Exactly. And that's what I said. I was like,
why do you have to sell you down the river?
Yeah, he basically said, oh, the car, because they were like, this Charger's stolen. And he was like, oh, well, I buy and sell cars and dirt bikes and this and that.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like, well, that makes perfect sense. You bought a car with the title.
Right.
It must have been stolen. Fuck, I didn't know. I have the title.
And somebody slipped you some bad cash.
Exactly. He could have easily... That is a perfect story, right?
Keep you completely out of it.
Exactly. And even then, possession of counterfeit currency, he'd have gotten probation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially with a story like that.
Right.
It's like, Your Honor, I buy and sell vehicles. Like, I must have been fucked a couple times by different people.
What a dumb fuck.
Yeah, but instead, he not only told on me, but he admitted to them his whole drug operation. And like I said, I've posted on my YouTube channel and TikTok and stuff, like the interrogation tapes of him confessing to his whole drug operation, confessing about me and
what
my
a weak
operation.
Bitch. Had he not gone down, do you think you were headed to a path that might have eventually caught up to you?
I don't know, because I sensed it coming. I sensed like the heat coming, and I wanted to stop at that point.
And you had 60 clean, didn't you, at that point?
So
at that point you could have...
I wanted to just move out of Knoxville. Although at that point there were like bolos out for me. Be on the lookouts. Like they had my picture for breaking bills.
Oh, so they had...
They knew.
Surveillance.
They had my picture. They didn't know my name, but they knew. But also they didn't know I was the one making the bills. They just knew, hey, this
you were
guy...
passing them.
Yeah.
And is there a whole different level of fuckery with regards to passing versus making?
Yeah.
I gotta think.
Yeah. Passing a bill is like... The feds wouldn't even pick that up.
Right.
It would be a state charge, a criminal simulation.
Right. But being Johnny fucking homemaker...
Woo! Yeah, and even then, when the feds see you breaking bills, like they won't even arrest you because they want to find the printers. So I ended up going back to the house, and E's like little girlfriend that was selling dope for him, she basically told me, like E told me not to tell you, but he got arrested up in Cleveland. So I was thinking, like, why would he tell you not to tell me? So right then and there, I knew he's cooperating. So I basically gathered everything, all the evidence.
Everything.
And left. So when they raided that house, I knew it was coming because, who says that? Like, she says, oh, your partner in this criminal enterprise got arrested and told me not to tell you. It's like, whoa, okay.
You got,
that's
but you
weird.
got better internal feelers than that. I'm the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so
you did so there wasn't anything left.
Nothing in the house. I bagged up the trash separately, any evidence, and I bagged it up separately. So I even took that. I mean, he must have felt like a fucking asshole because later I realized, like, after getting the tapes of him and confessing, he was saying, like, yeah, we could just go to the house and everything's there, the computers, the printers, all this. And obviously, so I know now it's like he took him to that house and raided it, and there was nothing there but his drugs and guns.
He was probably trying to cut a deal.
Yeah, oh yeah, he
turn into
absolutely
big time
was.
counterfeiter so I can get off this fucking deal.
But he's so dumb that he didn't even realize that counterfeiting wasn't a big. It was a big deal, but like compared to
What he had going
trafficking
on.
heroin with guns and trafficking meth and trafficking coke, and he was like, oh, but there's only one thing. Like, my drugs are in the house, so I need to tell my girl to get out my drugs. And the feds obviously were like, no, you can't not do that. Like, that's obstruction of justice.
Is he mentally insane?
Yeah, pretty much.
How long of a period from that day you left that house to the day that you're in handcuffs? How long?
2 days.
Oh, that fast.
Yeah. Because right after they raided the house and I wasn't there, there was no equipment there, nothing. He called me. But I was thinking, well, he doesn't know that I know. The feds don't know that I know he's cooperating. So I figured I'll answer the phone and just deny everything. And
They're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that'll make him look like a liar. So he called me and was like, oh, we gotta meet up. Let's meet up. And I was like, nah, I'm out of town. I was like, I decided to go on a little vacation. And then eventually I refused to meet up with him. So I could tell the feds were like, we'll get him to talk about something because he's not meeting up with you, you know. Because so then all of a sudden he was like, oh, well, can you get me 700 grams of heroin? Like, is basically what he asked me to do.
And you're like, are you fucking hot? Leave me alone.
Yeah, and I said, I'm like, what? I'm like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, first of all, you're the drug dealer. I was like, you know I don't sell drugs. I'm like, I always tell you that you should stop selling drugs.
You're turning the heat around on them.
Yeah, which is true.
Well,
I always said,
right.
I'm like, bro, this fraud shit is where the money's at, and you don't get a big sentence. I'm like, you're out here driving around with a gun and a brick of heroin.
Right.
You're looking at 15 years.
Easy.
Yeah, and it's like, I'd always preach that to him. So basically, yeah, he said, after me saying, like, I don't sell drugs, you're the drug dealer, why are you asking me for drugs? He was like, well, yeah, I know, but I know you just know a lot of people, so I figured you could, like, just help me out and get it for me. And I was like, you're crazy, man. No, I'm not doing that. So then we hung up. And I was thinking, like, that conversation went really well. Like, I didn't admit to anything. I called him out as a drug dealer.
Right.
He even confirmed that. And he even confirmed that I don't sell drugs on the phone.
So you're thinking, I'm clean as fuck.
Dude, I thought, okay, now it's time to just leave town, never look back, and I think I'm good. They're probably building a case on me right now. They're going to try to watch me, and they know of me. They know what's up.
I got to get the fuck out of here.
But I got to get out of here and kick rocks.
Now, where were you attempting to go to?
Well, I didn't even have time to think about it, really, because just by having that conversation,
they pinged your phone.
They pinged my phone to my location, and probably 3, maybe 4 or 5 hours later, they kicked the door in. So they were just looking for my location. His testimony saying, "Oh, I got this counterfeit money from him." That's all they needed. They don't even need me to. So I was thinking, they don't have any evidence on me.
His accusation that you're a counterfeiter.
That's all they
whetted
need.
their appetite enough to give them probable cause to get a hold of a judge to ping you.
Yeah,
and they pinged you. Now, had you not answered the phone, would they been able to ping it where it was ringing, or did you have to pick up the phone?
Yeah, I think you have to pick up the phone for the connection to be made, for the satellites to be like, that's what ping is kind of. As soon as you answer, it's
so 4
ping,
hours later, boom, they're now, and you got probably all the shit that you packed, right? Probably still in the car. I don't know. You probably didn't have a chance to unpack it.
Yeah.
Did you go back to baby mama's house? Is that where you went?
No, we just got a hotel room. So there was this girl that one of the groups that I was selling money to, right? These guys from Detroit. It was like a much bigger network of like gang affiliated drug trafficking organization. This girl that was selling dope for him, like the main guy I knew and was friends with and sold money to. And he had some girl selling dope for him in this hotel room that I was also friends with. So we just went to that hotel room.
When you say we, did you mean your entire family?
Just me and my wife at the time.
Okay.
So we went and stayed there. And that's the room that
busted.
got raided. Yeah.
But
they didn't even know that room was like
The drug den.
drug room. Yeah,
Right.
like the girl that was selling, she like stuffed it inside,
Right.
and they never found drugs or anything.
They were looking for you. Next thing you know, you're fucking nose down, handcuff Willie. Now you're in a Podunk County jail somewhere in Tennessee.
in Knox County.
Knox County.
Yeah. It's podunk to what I'm used to, but
Right.
for Tennessee, it's one of the bigger cities.
Right. But what do they really have? What do they really got on you other than, do they have the surveillance? Is that what they use? What's the discovery on you?
I was in the process of making bills at the hotel room when they raided
shit.
it. Yeah. So I was
'Cause you needed
selling
money.
bills to the guy that room I was staying with the girl, her boss essentially and boyfriend.
Needed money.
Well, he was the big drug dealer guy, and basically he put in an order. Like I was making $6,000 some odd dollars for him. So yeah, I was printing bills as the feds knocked on the door.
So it's real hard to say, I'm not doing it.
Well, the room wasn't in my name though.
Does that make a difference?
Yeah.
Really? What difference? I mean,
Because technically anything in the room has nothing to do with me. I'm just here in this hotel room.
oh, that's brilliant.
But we always put hotel rooms in someone else's name and this and that. But I think
I'm gonna start doing that just forever, just for fun.
You should.
I'm gonna say I'm Bubba Turner. I think some hotels you can lay down like $500 cash. You go there the next morning and get the balance if you didn't have room service or a bunch of long distance phone calls or a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, there are definitely hotels that
Some
take
shady
cash.
ass fucking, where businessmen are fucking hookers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the hotel room not being in your name helped you?
Well, it could have, but it ended up being in my wife's name. My wife at the time.
okay.
So at that point, it was like, yeah, I could have been like, oh, I don't know. It's okay if it's not yours. It's whoever has the hotel room in their name, which is her. I kind of told her, I was like, what the fuck? Like, we never put shit, like I told you, don't ever put shit in your name.
Right.
Like, never put shit in your name.
Did you get bond?
No, in the feds, they don't really do bond, but they gave me pretrial release. So they let me out.
How long were you in there before you got pretrial release?
I think it was about 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
Then they give you pretrial,
Yeah.
which then you go to trial.
Yeah.
How long are you out on pretrial?
I was in jail for about 4 months. They let me out on pretrial release. And then COVID hit. So all the courts were shut down.
That probably helped you.
I guess so. I mean,
as far as maybe being able to stay out a little bit longer. Did you have to stay up there for all that time? You had to stay local probably with the GPS monitor and all that bullshit.
no. They fought it. They said I was a flight risk because
But you are.
Well, that's I mean, they were like, "Listen, this guy."
Don't get mad at me, buddy.
We rated. No. I mean, I definitely was. I thought about fleeing.
Trying to get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I definitely.
If you had a
considered
plane
it.
ticket to the Bahamas, bitch, you'd be in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I mean, they knew. It's like, I was living out of hotels. I'm from Florida, but my case was out of Knoxville, Tennessee. The guy who snitched on me was up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Right.
So obviously there's like a national kind of
Right.
network of people. So, I mean, I get why they...
But they didn't monitor you up. You.
No, I basically told him, I was like, listen, like... Really, the sentencing guidelines, I'm looking at 2 to 4 years tops.
Right.
It's like, what do you think? I'm going to run from the federal government to avoid 2 years?
Right.
It's like, I've already got 4 months built on it.
Right.
So it's like, come on.
Oh, you had 4 months gain time on it.
Yeah. Well, I thought that there was like state charges. Basically the first couple months I was in there was on state charges until the feds indicted me. So once, basically, I sat in there on state charges, and then they dropped the state charges, and the feds picked it up. So the first 2 or 3 months I was in there didn't count.
We're state. And then they dropped the state, so then now you're back to feds.
Yeah.
So you got a couple months of fed time in, right?
Yeah, at that point I had like a couple months that was just...
So did you lawyer up?
Given to them. Well, I mean, I had a public defender.
Right.
But the federal... the federal defenders or whatever, the public defenders in the feds are a lot better.
Oh yeah,
like they're good attorneys.
They get paid
actually.
more too, right?
Yeah, so,
So
I had a good attorney.
At that point, do you have any anything stashed away clean? Mm-mm. So at this point, you're going to trial. You later found out what the discovery they had on you. Probably footage of you passing. They really didn't have any manufacturing footage or anything like that.
Well, they had evidence of that. They had computer files.
Oh,
and
that's
see, that was
right.
the thing. My computer that was in the hotel room. They raided the hotel room, and I was making bills at the time. So
you're in the act.
Yeah. And that computer that I was in possession of had different serial numbers, right? Because I changed serial numbers every bill I'd make or every other one or whatever. So basically they found a computer with like 25, I think it was 25 different serial numbers that links me to any bill that was counterfeit bill that was found with those 25 serial numbers is attributed to me.
So do they have to go back and find those bills and try to match them up?
Yeah, pretty much. But, I mean, they keep, like, every counterfeit bill that goes through the system and gets seized by the Secret Service is filed, and they have a log of it, so it's not very hard for them.
So they were able to attribute how many to you?
Their number that they got was about 800,000. And then we ended up settling on a plea agreement to keep it under 100,000 because that's where the enhancements are. So they basically
they dropped it. They gave you a $700,000 break.
Well, I mean, it was really more than that, but yeah, I mean, they basically, part of the deal was we won't charge your wife with anything. We'll keep it under $100,000, which avoids enhancements and stuff. It'll
probably a lot of different years.
Time reduction, which really, and he basically said that was kind of how the feds got me. Like they said, once it hits over $1 million, it's another enhancement.
Right.
So he's like, only you know how much money you actually printed. And I know it was well over $1 million because I was printing about 3,000 to 5,000 a day for 16, 18 months.
Right.
So, I mean, like, that's
just do the math.
That's like $2 million,
right,
give or take. So, like, he basically said it's at
But they only had you on it for 8.
Yeah, they were like,
and
right
then
now.
From there, they gave you, how in the hell did you get a $700,000 break?
Oh, well, that's just, they basically said, like, you're at 800,000, but we're finding 10,000 a week still is coming in. So he's like, it's probably
still in the marketplace.
It's going to come over $1 million in the next,
soon,
year, 6 months, whatever. So he's like, but if you plead guilty today, we'll keep it at not only will we not only do you stop the clock essentially,
right,
but we'll do it under 100,000, which
no wife charge.
Yeah, they won't charge my wife. Keep it under 100,000, and then that's when they said, and also, if you want to make a video to train future Secret Service agents, you make bills on camera, we film it.
Was that an extra kicker to help you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he said that, it was like I get to. That's a way to basically cooperate without snitching on, like, without telling on
your
anybody.
paper in prison wouldn't show that you told on anybody.
Pretty much,
it just would show that you showed them how you did it, and that's not telling on anybody.
Yeah, and I mean, the only co-defendant on my case was the one that blatantly told on me.
That fuck.
So, like, at this point, it's like there was really no one for me to tell on unless I just started naming out names of people I knew.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wasn't looking at that much time anyway, but they gave me an opportunity to fucking get a 2 to 4 month sentence down to a year.
When you made the video, I'm sure you went to a Secret Service facility.
Mm-hmm. The Secret Service headquarters in downtown Knoxville.
And did you tell them, okay, gave them a shopping list of what you needed? Did you give them a shopping list, or did you bring your own stuff?
Well, they raided the hotel while
so you
I was
had
making, yeah, they literally had.
So they said,
all
okay,
this stuff.
we got your shit. Show us how you do it. So when you're in there, making the bills, are they becoming kind of cool with you? Like, God dang, Jeff, that's pretty fucking cool. Like,
absolutely. Yeah, they were super complimentary after I decided to
work with
guilty.
them.
Yeah, I mean, they were really surprised with like the blue notes and the patent stuff. Like, that's how I figured out that the blue strip was on Google Patents.
That's a very integral part of the new bill technology is that strip. And you can explain how you did that. You got around that.
The only additive on the new Blue Notes, like the added security feature, is that blue strip. And I've always known that, the government is all just contractors, right? That's how the government pretty much functions. It's like some politicians up top that control the budget, and then everybody else is contractors,
right?
Private companies.
They can't shit these strips out of their ass. It has to come from somewhere.
Exactly.
Right?
The Federal Reserve is a private bank, right? They get it, like the BEP, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, oversees making the currency, but they buy it from a private company called Crane and Company, which has been making the paper for money since like the 1800s or whatever. It's the same company.
And then the same company. Think about that fucking racket.
I know it.
Do they make like a quarter a bill, or like do they? I mean,
I'm not sure. They're like
it'd be interesting to see. Like okay, I don't know if you know this, but when I used to have nightclubs and we were counting money before we had money counters. Do you know the weight of every bill?
Yeah, 1 gram.
1 gram. Mm-hmm. Of course. I was trying to get you on a fucking zinger, but yeah. So we would take like a stack of money. Like, a stack of 20 isn't just weighed at say 68 grams. You do 20 times 68. That's how much we'd have. And then we'd always have to hand count it because sometimes it would be off a little bit,
If they got wet, maybe.
If they got wet or, something So, and they would always be heavier than lighter.
Yeah.
They would always be heavier than lighter. So
that's one hard thing for a counterfeiter to do is get the weight right.
Is to get the grams right.
Mm-hmm.
Really
it's hard. Every now and then I would try.
You knew that they weighed a gram, right?
Mm-hmm. I'd try to get them to weigh a gram because some drug dealers would do that, and that's the best way to
see if it's counterfeit or not.
If it's counterfeit, because you're gluing two pieces together,
right?
So just slightly too much glue, and it weighs more.
Would you ever get so integral where you would try to get to the gram? Like, well, you were so good at it where you would try to get it to weigh a gram?
I'd try, but I couldn't ever get every single one, though.
How close would you get?
Every now and then it'd be a gram, but, like, most of the bills were 1.1.
Right.
Just
because
over.
You got you have to double the paper.
Well, it's the lacquer, I think. Because not only are you spraying the Gorilla Glue spray, but then you're spraying the lacquer on top of that.
So you got two different glues on there.
2 different sprays, yeah,
right.
An adhesive glue and then the spray lacquer.
So you teach the security, you teach the Secret Service guys. You do a how-to video, which they probably to this day use.
Yeah,
to this day, it's probably that tape's probably worn the fuck out. Then you get sentenced, and you had 8 months left.
I did 10 months.
10 months, and where did you do it at?
Basically,
was it a hard time?
Knox County, and then from Knox County to Blount County, which is the federal holding facility for East Tennessee. And then from there, they took me to Laurel County, which is the federal holding facility for Kentucky. And then from there to FMC Lexington, which is
but after all the holdings, you probably didn't have much prison time left. I mean, were you getting held for 20, 30 days?
Yeah. Basically.
So, I mean, you're knocking off,
It sucked because it was like 2 weeks in Knox County, 2 weeks in Blount County, a month in Laurel County, and then I hit
And those
the
little
compound.
county jails suck, don't they?
Yeah, Laurel County wasn't bad, actually. London, Kentucky, it's like a little town in Kentucky, but that was pretty sweet because it was like 10-man cells. So basically, it's almost like you're in your own little pod,
right?
But with 10 guys, which isn't bad. But you have a TV with the remote, a private bathroom with a personal.
You're like,
shower.
I'll do the rest of my time here.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. They sold vapes on commissary.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, no, it was because the owner of the prison. It was like a
privatized prison. It was
a private prison, and the owner who owned the prison also owned like a vape company.
Yeah.
So, he just sold vapes.
Now, then when you went to the Fed place, when you finally ended up in Fed, was it the shits? It sucked?
No, it's not. Federal prison isn't that bad. I mean, at least if you're going to a camp or a low or even some mediums, it's not that bad. I mean, it's a prison. It's like prison. Camps are a little more lax, but Lowe's are, it's prison. You have the fucking steel door with the fucking slot and all that.
And the barbed wire and the yard and the whole that kind of shit.
Yeah, the whole deal.
And if you're really bad, they put you in the hole or the shoe or the fuck it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, everyone everywhere has a shoe, I think. I've never been to a camp or anything.
Right.
But
and you got how many months did you have to go there?
By the time I actually got to Lexington, I think there was only like 6 months to the door, 6 or 7 months.
And are you counting the days down and,
no, you try to just forget about it and go do a routine.
Just keeping your routine. Wake
if you
up
sit
at 5:30.
there and count down every day, it's like a watch
What
never
would
boils,
be your daily routine? What time you wake up, breakfast,
I usually didn't eat breakfast unless I had.
See, I wouldn't miss breakfast, motherfucker. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm not missing a meal.
Well, the food in there isn't the best either. So,
Did they have any good food at all?
Yeah, some of it. I mean, the inmates cook the food. So it's like the holiday meals were good. Chicken on the bone day is good because it's just chicken on the bone.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like fake processed bullshit because there's a bone. It's an actual, animal at least. But yeah, most people could make better food. I worked in the kitchen, so I would bring bags of chicken, smuggle back bags of chicken or peppers and onions and all that kind of stuff back to the unit. So people could make good stuff. You get a stinger. A stinger is basically how you cook. You take an electrical wire, plug it into the wall, and put it in a bucket full of water, and it boils.
Weren't you afraid of getting electrocuted?
No, I mean, don't touch the water. But,
What was the sketchiest thing in prison? Did you ever get fucked with, or were you pretty much, did the white guys stick together and the black guys stick together and the Latin guys stick together, or was that more in county?
No, I mean, that's pretty much how it was. In the feds, it's more cars. You kind of stick with the state you're from.
Really?
Yeah, and see, and I went there, and I'm from Florida, but there wasn't very many people from Florida in Kentucky. So, the little Florida car, it was 3 guys.
Right.
But those 3 guys, were buddies and watched each other's backs and helped each other out or whatever. And when I got there, I said, "Oh, I'm from Florida." They introduced me to those 3 guys.
And those are your boys?
Well, no, but I introduced them. Oh, I'm from Tampa. I think one guy was from Orlando, one guy was from Miami, another guy from Jacksonville or something.
And you probably had the shortest time of all.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of time. But I met the guys from Florida and became friendly with them.
Right.
But then it was but I caught my case in Tennessee, and then the Florida guys were like, okay, well, there is the Tennessee car. Let me introduce you to those guys, and I met them. But at the time, I had a house in North Carolina when I was actually sentenced. So I was like, well, I'm living in
You had 3 cars.
Yeah, well, not really, but I rode with the Tennessee car. That was the people that because I had been living in Knoxville for 8 years.
So you get
at that
out.
point, so.
You get out, and where does that put Jeff Turner at today?
Oh well, I'm here with you, man. I'm about to start a podcast.
From getting out. What has been your journey since getting? What was your release date? 22?
October 27th, 2021.
21. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been out a while.
Yeah, it's going on 4 years.
Haven't
now,
gotten
a little more than 4 years.
Not one bit of trouble.
No.
Probably not interested in any of that shit.
No. Yeah. It's been a trip, man, because I did the Matt Cox podcast.
Right.
He got me on Concrete. And a bunch of people saw Concrete.
Oh, yeah.
Since then, I'm writing a book, which I'm trying to finish.
As you should.
I'm trying to finish up.
Need to get
my life rights to a film company, so that's a director is working on trying to get a film made.
Be a great film.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say, and that's what he seems to have faith in it.
Are you recognized because I've seen you advertised as one of the best counterfeiters ever?
I mean, people say that. Yeah, it's hard to say because you don't really know.
I mean, of the caught ones.
I mean, yeah.
They say that. I mean, listen. I'll give you your flowers. I've done some research on you. They say you're one of the best ever.
Yeah.
That's why the feds had you make the video.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to like toot your own horn. I don't know what other people are doing out there, but I'd like to think I can solve a lot of problems. And like at one point when with the right equipment, I can make some bills that look pretty.
Could you be a consultant for an agency?
Absolutely. I thought about starting a loss prevention consulting.
You should be.
Agency.
You should.
Because I've got lots of plans. I ran a print shop for 3.5 years while on probation. And I just kind of left there to focus on my book, focus on the movie thing, because the director is basically, he's finishing up the screenplay like very soon. He's coming to Knoxville in like a couple weeks to experience the city, because he's never been to Knoxville. So he's going to finish up the screenplay in Knoxville and then start pitching it to like the major
major
film
players.
Companies and stuff.
Now, would you play yourself, or would somebody else play you?
No, somebody else can play me. I'm no actor.
You're not a fucking actor.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind.
You kind of look like a young Nicolas Cage, kind of.
I've heard that a lot. A lot of people have said that.
And he's badass, although he got in trouble, too, man. He got in a lot of fucking trouble.
For what? Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, Nick Cage got in trouble for
money laundering or tax evasion.
Tax evasion, but he didn't
sure.
really know it. He had a shady-ass accountant.
Oh, yeah.
It really wasn't his fault, but it kind of was. And,
he was buying, like, fucking, like, dinosaur eggs. And,
and
like,
and he thought he had way more money
than
he really did, but he was getting robbed blind and shit like that.
Yeah. You don't need a fucking T-Rex bone toothbrush or whatever the fuck.
Has there ever been a movie about counterfeit? There's had to be.
To Live and Die in L.A. was one. William Dafoe. Which I didn't think it was very good, though.
Were you very critical on how they were making them? You're like, that's fucked up. You can't make it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was like the first movie in the 80s about counterfeiting. So that's like the OG, original, like, when you think of counterfeit films, like that's...
What's it called again? I'm going to watch it.
To Live and Die in L.A.
And it's about counterfeiting.
Willem Dafoe. But he had like these big presses, and it's kind of like that cheesy 80s film.
And probably Hollywooded out a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are people still doing it as good as you were doing it? Has technology even gotten better since you have left the game?
Yeah, because I use like Canon Pro 100s. Now they've got printers. A lot of people have messaged me since I've been doing all these podcasts.
And saying, can you help me out?
Well, like, I don't want to get involved with anything.
Like, I was going to say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was going to say, like, don't fucking take the bait.
Yeah.
I mean, some guy could say, hey, can you come over here and not do it, but kind of walk me through the process, and I'll give you $10,000. Don't even fucking think about it.
Well, see, that's the thing. And I know this. So, like, a lot of people would say, oh, can you teach me how you did it? And it's like, well, listen, first of all, it's like, I don't want to be involved. The conspiracy laws are very, there's a fine line between me just talking to you and me being involved in a conspiracy.
Right.
So it's like, a lot of the guys, it's like, I'll tell them, no, like, I don't want to be involved in a criminal conspiracy, so I'm not going to do this or that. But it's like, then they say, okay, I understand, and then they just want to brag to me about their crimes.
Right.
Or whatever. So it's like, well,
So a lot of times you'll have guys calling you up and be like, hey, I'm doing it, and here's how I'm doing it.
To me.
Are you like, listen, motherfucker, I don't want to have anything, appreciate you, but... not interested.
Yeah.
Did the feds have any release parameters with regards to once you did your time, you cannot, like a lot of times you cannot participate in this like as a consultant or have anything to do with it? Would that be a crime if you told a guy how to do it?
No, I mean, they didn't make any stipulation of that. Like in interviews like this, right, I obviously explained the process to you.
Right.
So there's nothing illegal about that. But if I even have knowledge of you asking me the questions because you want to try it,
right,
then that becomes like I'm facilitating.
Almost an accessory.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a conspiracy because
so
I'm
you got to make sure when you open your podcast
act.
up, you need to say, listen, Johnny Numbnuts, Thank you for the
Yeah,
for
just
doing,
have a little disclaimer down there for educational purposes only.
You need to disclaim that because
Absolutely.
you might get a guy someday that wants to do an intensive podcast with you, and he's fucking writing he'll just listen to the recording on how you did it. But I think it's far more complicated than you kind of hit the high spots of how you do it, but it's the average person couldn't figure it out. Would you have to be like a really, really good printer in order to really figure it out in today's world, even if you had the best equipment?
Maybe. You do need to know specifics about how printers work, and like there's a lot of little tricks that, like, I don't know. It would be hard for certain people to solve those issues the same way I did without me telling them.
There's probably so many little idiosyncrasies that that would be hard to explain unless you were in the mix and doing it.
Yeah, I agree to that. Sure.
Last question, and this is not a got you question, but if I said, Jeffrey Turner, there's unlimited budget, buy whatever you need, whatever it takes, the most expensive printer, the most expensive file converter, the most expensive everything, could you print an unbelievable, good-looking $100 bill?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just straight money. Better than you've ever done before. Because the technology has gotten better.
Oh, yeah, although the blue strips in the new $100 bills, I used to be able to order that film. There was a specific company, which I guess I can say because they don't even sell to the public anymore.
Right.
But it was a company, DP Lenticulars. It was their product called Microlux. And it's just a thin film that is a fly eye lenticular lens array films. But they don't sell to, like, the public, you know what I mean?
Right.
They only...
And they've changed the strip from that to that now?
Well, they haven't changed. They just sell the blank strips. They sell the films to make the strips.
Right.
But now, yeah, they don't... They can only sell through this, like, security printing guild of, like, I think it's like 5 or 8 different.
And then when they're sending a truckload
companies.
to Bubba Clem on Nassau Street, they know that there's some shit going down, right?
Yeah. You got an address here, right?
This is not a printing company. Listen, Jeff, man, great having you. Jeff Turner, the world's greatest counterfeiter. He did his time. He never squealed on anybody. Just so charismatic. I hope that you continue. I hope you follow through with what you were going to do, and that's go into the podcasting world a little bit.
Yeah, check out Crooked Talks. Crooked Talks.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Crooked Talks. We'll put that on the.
Yeah, we're filming stuff now, and I'm gonna release, start releasing episodes here.
Yeah,
soon.
get with Matt and Danny. They'll help you out. They always have the best. That's how I found you. They are a mecca of being able to find great guests.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Matt knows every criminal from fucking here to Canada.
Matt's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he is
cool,
and I'm so proud of him, too. I'm so proud. He's doing well. I mean, he is really, really doing well.
Yeah, and I've seen him go from the 20,000 subscribers.
When I interviewed him, he was still in his halfway house, not knowing what the fuck he's going to do. And now he's killing it. But that can be you, my friend. You're very charismatic. You got a great story. I'm sure you'd be a great interviewer. You're brilliant in what in the things that you know. And people can look you up again. It's Crooked Talks on YouTube.
Yeah, Crooked Talks, and my YouTube channel right now is Jeffrey Patrick Turner, which I'm gonna probably switch it to at Crooked Talks.
Yeah, I think you need to do that.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll figure
Nobody
it out,
knows who the fuck Jeffrey Patrick Turner is. That's not hot. That's not glamorous.
No.
You need to be like,
my Instagram,
counterfeit Willie, or something like that.
J. Turner 727.
Yeah, what the fuck? He's like an accountant.
See, that shows you I'm from here though. J. Turner 727 is my Instagram.
Back in the 727,
I started that fucking 10 years ago.
Back when you got busted for pot behind Albertsons, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff Turner, it's been a pleasure.
Hey, my pleasure.
To meet you, my friend, and thank you for being on the podcast. And we'll promote all your stuff. And thank you to your girl for being patient. I know we went a little long today.
Yeah.
But I wish you the best, my friend. If there's anything I can do for you, don't hesitate to reach out. And I don't have as many guests hookups as you stick with Matt Cox.
Yeah.
He won't do you wrong. He won't steal your identity, and he won't.
You can have my identity.
Yeah, you can.
I'll trade him. You can. I'll take Matt Cox. You can have Jay Turner.
Jeff Turner, the world's #1 best counterfeiter in the world, right there, my friend. Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate it, man.